How lucky Nomad and Ted there getting to walk around Shanghai, see all the statues out there and have fun, but also get to show us what there is if you guys are coming to Shanghai and experiencing this year's TI. Of course, though, our group stage is not over by any means. There have been a lot of eliminations and a lot of qualifications today, but we still have one more best of three. One more team to welcome to the main stage, one more team to say goodbye to, but I have three lovely gentlemen to walk me through that one. Lacoste, Gunner, and Monkeys Forever. And Lacoste, starting with you today on our final day, our final series. How excited are you to see who
Very
makes
excited. I love to see, joy. I love to see some tears as well. Eliminations,
tears,
they're
definitely.
brutal. They're brutal. This is what Dota is about. But because there's so many things on the line, you want to get to the main event. You want to be playing in front of the crowd. And we are seeing teams pulling out their best strats. And it's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and yourself, Gunner?
I mean, I'm excited for the series we saw today. For the next one, I'm excited a lot. There's a very special player in one of the teams, Yuma, for me. So, I don't know. Why did you look surprised at that?
I don't know. I just didn't think you guys were friends. I thought there was a little bit of beef. I heard he kicked you or something.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
It only happened 16 other times on other teams. It wasn't him specifically. It's all good. But I think it's also fun because this is a team we were expected with Yandex to be 4-1. And then you have LGD, who... we weren't even sure if they'd make it to this point in the tournament, so it should be a good game.
And yourself, Monkeys, the final series, the final day for the group stage?
Yeah, I'm very excited to be watching LGD. Obviously, Thompson here at TI again. Very, very exciting. Also, I would like to put the highlight on Whisper. This is a guy I personally have been watching for 8+ years, and he's only been getting better and better over the years, in my opinion. And he's truly the star offlaner of South America. So very, very excited to, see a series.
Hopefully making it to the main stage as well. But let's have a look at our Swiss bracket, our modified Swiss bracket, because the joy of last night and getting to see everything play out was that our highest seeded teams got to pick the lowest, well, from the 2-3 teams for themselves there. And what we've already seen today, Falcons qualifying. Unfortunately, Aurora picking wrong with BB team being able to take a 2-0 off of them. Spirit almost having a disastrous exit out of the group stage, but we're able to clutch it up in that game 3. And over on the B stream, their second series has now concluded as well, with Iron Wing taking a 2-0 over Game Allegiant, and does leave either LGD or Yandex to take that final slot at the main stage there. But unfortunately, Monkeys as well, Game Allegiant not making it through. Despite being your dark horse, they did have a very tough run towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I was coping a bit and hoping they would make top 8, but hey, what's TI without a little coping?
100%. We're seeing their run there. It was definitely difficult towards the end. That Iron Wing one was hard for them, but I want to focus up on LGD's run, because there has been a lot of talk about how the paths have played out for teams. Their first matchup was up against Falcons. Then they had to go up against Team Resilience. Then it was Nigma Galaxy, who ended up qualifying for the main stage already. Extreme Gaming, they got the win over, and then VG2. So putting themselves in that position, despite being the lowest seed, Gunner, in a position to be able to, quote unquote, choose their opponent.
Yeah, and it was surprising that a lot of their series were very close. There were 3 games. The one surprise was Nigma, that they actually got 0-2'd by them and not Falcons. You would have expected that would have been the harder game for them, but Nigma kind of just did go on that tear. They lost the first 2 games of the tournament for them, and then 8 in a row after that. And I would say hopefully for LGD, it's a good position for them to be in, being that higher seeded team. Usually you're okay, they didn't get to pick their opponent. They were that 5th seed team, so they were auto-assigned Yandex. They had one option when they had the choice to pick, but hopefully for them, they're at least confident enough knowing we've won some games this tournament, we can win a couple more.
For sure, but also to have in mind, this is LGD, Chinese organization that did pick up the squad, the ex-Heroic squad, and they beat all the Chinese teams here at TI. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing any of them at the main stage, but still seeing the LGD as an organization gives me high hopes, especially if they can beat Yandex here, which is going to be a very tough opponent for them.
That's one of those things that if you're going to be beating all the Chinese teams as technically our last Chinese org, you gotta hit the home run at this point. There is only one more milestone for you guys to jump over, but we were talking about our draft show that we had last night, and despite LGD not necessarily getting to pick their opponent, they definitely had some choice words. And I want to remind everyone, refresh the memories of how KJ is approaching this matchup specifically.
How does it feel to be going up against Mr. Yandex himself? I think a lot of people didn't expect Yandex to be here in this position of being chosen, and looks like you don't have what it takes to win this TI. So if you don't, better just do it.
Okay, thank you so much, KJ. This was supposed to be a friendly thing, but that's fine. You took your own. Any responses to that?
Я will regret this choice.
Okay, you will regret this. Ladies and gentlemen, please just shake your hands. Off you go. We're all having fun here. Thank you so much.
I do appreciate that despite being in a very difficult position, KJ was like, I'm still going to bring it all. And Axel going, yeah, you'll regret this one, brother. Definitely. I can't believe you chose us.
It puts a lot on the line as well, and you can definitely tell that KJ, he's very hungry after everything that happened with the team, the last-minute stand-in and everything. They want to get this stuff. They want to show, like, every single time you watch this guy have an interview, the way they talk about the game, it's very interesting. And the run that they had, even at the previous TI, was, I'd say, very magical as well, getting that top 5, top 6 place, one of the better performances. Like, they got the crowd pumped as well. And you talked about Yuma. I feel like Yuma has been also the shining star of this team, one of the better performances. I think this was his best performance at the last TI. I would put him in top 3 carry, the performance that he did put up.
Yeah, definitely in that main stage, especially
Yes.
last year. There's so many games that we weren't expecting them. Back then it was heroic, and they just kept winning, and it was a lot on the back of Yuma. His TA in particular last year was phenomenal. I think it's been definitely hard for this team as a whole. I think mid is one of those roles in the team that matters so much to everyone else. And it's strange because it's like you're the only guy that doesn't have a lane partner. You're like in this complete 1v1 isolation, but you have so much, like you get these early level 6, you want to rotate around, your supports come to you for power runes. So having to lose that kind of focal point for your team, I definitely think is hard, but who else would you really want to get as a mid laner than a 2-time TI winner?
Yeah, I mean, there's no one better than Thompson. This guy comes in, he starts playing Ricky mid, troll mid. I mean, who's expecting any of this stuff?
I feel like you just cannot prepare for LGD in any way, shape, or form. Yuma has a lot of pocket picks. Obviously, Thompson, well, that needs no explanation for himself there. Whisper plays a bunch of variety from the off lane as well, but looking at their TI appearances, it's been a phenomenal run for what feels like such an underdog region, such an underdog 5-man there. But now you're coming up against Yandex, a team no one really had in their mind as a team to be facing up against Elimination, especially not to be on the tail end, a 2-3 team with a roster that has won a lot of previous events throughout this season, and coming into this as well with a TI winner on their roster too. You'd think that there is going to be a lot more in the Yandex back pocket, and hopefully it was just a rough couple of days adjusting to Shanghai.
For sure. I mean, this is the team that did win 3 titles in this season. They looked good. When the squad was like formed, it was like another stack kind of, and then Saxa joined them to be as a stand-in for one of the tournaments and one of the Fisher Playgrounds, and everything kind of clicked, and he's like, yep, I'm just going to be joining the team. He is the veteran. He does have, this is his 8th TI appearance, and the only one who doesn't have TI appearance on the team is Malady, but everybody else is kind of there. I'm going to be looking into mid-matchup mostly. Okay.
This is such a Malady thing, bro. Holy shit.
Malady, he does have a lot of personality.
Love to see speed cubing on the main
Dude, I think that might be the most he's ever smiled on camera, and he doesn't even know he's on camera. That's why. Malady is such a personality. A lot of people on the side of Yandex are as well. Do you think that their hero pool is just as wide or just as versatile, Monkeys?
Of course. I mean, Watson, this guy is known for having a wide hero pool. He can play the more aggressive heroes like Nature's Prophet. We'll see that in the first phase ban from LGD. He can play a lot of aggressive heroes such as Kez, Nature's, stuff like that. And he can also play the more back-end farmers such as Drow, Templar, Assassin, stuff like that.
Yeah, and these teams, from my perspective, if we're going to cut out the Thompson factor, I think they do have very similar playstyles, and you can see they share a lot of common heroes. I just have to say that because, you think of Thompson, he does play Gyro mid, Ricky mid. He was the first guy to do Dragon Knight mid. So we do I want to eliminate the mid pool when we're talking about the averages for the teams. But their carry players, I would say, are somewhat similar. They both are Meepo players. They both really like their Terror Blades, the Nature's Prophets. So for me, this game, as a lot of the games this TI is kind of shaping up to be, is a lot on the carries and how the teams play around them, whether they are the ones being able to use like aggression with gates. I think both of these players are very good at using the gates. I know Yumo is one of the first people to really want to just like take gates super early and make these aggressive plays, good or bad. And Watson as well is one of these like very hyper aggressive carries. And that also ties into the supports. How are the supports getting into these guys, and how are the off laners picking strong lanes so they can kind of enable their carries to rotate to them? But again, the focal point is on these carries, and how early can you pick the carries, or how late do you want them?
Watson is also, Yuma is one of those carries that throughout this season as well, we've seen a lot of growth in him even rotating mid, not just the gate. He is one of the most mobile carries, and it reminds me of very TI10 Yatoro days, right? When he was doing that key, it's like, okay, now this is becoming more of a staple of a Yuma playstyle too. But we're going to focus up on our game number 1 draft here, because despite both of these teams, a lot of different players having unique heroes for themselves, you can't look past what's been winning the game right now, what is in the current meta and what has felt a little bit broken. And Earth Spirit being the first pick for Yandex, and a Centaur is LGD's response.
It's really surprising to me that Earth Spirit is making it through these first phase bans as much as it is. I mean, this hero has just been such a menace this tournament. The amount of magic damage coming out of Magnetize, the mobility. He's an easy vessel buyer, where this is a meta where heavy regen is so valuable. It's shocking to me how much we're seeing of this hero.
I don't think I've seen a hero.
So I'm pointing at the 2 off-lane wins that has happened. I don't think we've been privy enough to get to catch that on the mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, this is a flexible hero. Like, you want to have the flexibility between like multiple roles if possible, and we've seen mostly the flex to position 4, even prior to TI. I don't think I've seen a game where Earth Spirit had a bad game. Like, he always has impact, even if he's shut down in the lane, even if he's playing into some matchups that he doesn't like to play into, because this has been a hero to beat coming into TI, but we're still seeing high impact in every single game.
I do believe the bans are very hard getting to the stage of the tournament. Nature's Prophet has almost felt unbeatable in a lot of the games, especially when you put into the hands of like Satanics, Watsons. These guys are so good at the hero and the aggression. It's like you don't want to give it up. The tree as well, I would not want to give it up. And then Cheer Jr. is probably the best invoker, I would say right now in the tournament at least. And so it's like those are kind of 3 of your bans locked in. And then now it's like, sure, there's the question of Keeper of the Light versus Earth Spirit. Keeper of the Light just makes a game that's even almost impossible to win with all the sustain. So maybe Earth Spirit's more of an idea of like, sure, this guy's very strong, but we can pick something to beat it. It's showing a core as well early, and we can respond to it. In my opinion, this is a Centaur mid, just because we've seen it before as a response to Earth Spirit, and it's done well. I know Gamer Legion has done this, and RCY was solo killing Earth Spirits with the Centaur. And if someone is going to play Centaur, I would not be surprised it's Thompson.
True.
Yeah, he didn't play it yet. He has very interesting hero pool. Like, he's bringing new stuff to the table as well. He's playing Dragon Knight, Gyrocopter, Troll against these certain heroes. He is playing this Troll against Rushing Aghanims, against Ember Spirit, against Darkseer. There's like a lot. Like, he is the most creative Dota player that we probably ever had.
12 heroes in 13 games or something like that. Pretty much, he's repeated hero once this entire tournament. And
which one was it?
I think it was the
Dragon Knight.
Okay.
Oh, so not even the broken one.
Yeah, just the hero that Thompson brought to the tournament.
I want to say I think that hero is kind of a bait. Like, it's being picked more ever since he was the first to pick it in the tournament, and then people have been picking it more and more, and it doesn't look that good. And they're all copying his build. Yeah. It's like everyone. There was a quote. Someone was like, "Everyone's been watching Thompson stream." I believe it was like EWC, and I feel like it's the same thing here. It's like everyone's just watching the Thompson games and looking at his builds, and they're like, I could do that too.
I can buy
good.
Strength, Link, and BKB.
Yeah, he's buying the fun items. He's rushing this overwhelming Blink, Shivas. He is going for Octarine Core Shard, this build on Dragonite, which in theory, it looked very good. It's
not bad.
It's very good, like slowing the attack speed, having the bigger AoE on top of that. And I like this Witch Doctor a lot. I think Witch Doctor is very, very good in this meta. It secures you the lane because you are maxing out the heal as well on top of the Maledict. You're putting 1 point in Coconut. It's very good against all of these tanky heroes, whether this is going to be the Centaur. Most likely we are going to be seeing this Centaur in the mid lane, there are options to be picked up. We saw Viper as a being response to Witch Doctor in the lane. We saw Team Spirit picking up Dead Prophet in the lane as well, having a little bit of extra sustain, and here it comes. The reason why I love this build is because it slows you down so much. It's like damage over time, disables your blink, it's the attack speed slow, the combination between Shiva's and the overwhelming blink. It works real nicely, and also the AoE, like this bit of a newer build, it's 120 with his ability. It goes up to 180 with level 25 talent, and they are playing the longer games on top of that. Plus, you're getting 75 extra on top of that with Shiva's. So it's just going to be gigantic ball of fire, pretty much.
I love this Enigma pick. Whisper, such a menace on this hero. And I mean, you have the 2 silences from Kez and Earth Spirit, so until he gets BKB, Black Hole may not be too much of a factor, but Whisper, he can dominate his lane, open up the safe lane tower, rotate to that mid tower. He has a couple different builds he can do with Helm Dom or Drum.
Yeah, but is this the
AJ Enigma, maybe.
Oh,
I would say, is it who's he laning with to dominate the lane? Is it going to be a Centaur 4? Sure, we have seen
Could be, yeah.
the KJ Enigma, but to me that doesn't really feel.
That's last TI kind of stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel in the meta because there's just stronger laning supports than him.
Yes.
That also have way easier to cast spells than the Black Hole. So I do think it has to be the off lane.
And there's a possibility that Centaur is going to be played as a position for it.
Yeah, I would assume it's Centaur 4. Yuma also really likes Dragon Knight carry.
I was about to say, you don't ever see a realm where Dragon Knight gets shifted.
It's possible, but with all the changes to Dragon Knight recently, he's definitely lost a lot of the carry potential. He's more. People are also building him this more like magic damage, pure tankiness build that you don't really do. You don't scale in terms of damage that easily. Like you're saying, the Octarine, the Shard, the Strength Blink. So I think it is most likely just a Centaur 4, and they're hoping to last pick a Life Stealer, which gets banned, but something along those lines, just carry that can do the damage for your whole team by itself.
Honestly, I've missed drafts like this that make my panel scratch their head a little bit and goes, there's still potential, even if things feel more straightforward.
If there was any team to do it, it's LGD. I mean, Thompson, again, 12 unique heroes out of 13 games. And I think Whisper even has 9 unique heroes out of 13 games. So it's not just Thompson that's, bringing the versatility to this team.
Yeah, Yandex on the other side, they're keeping things simple for them. They're not like really flexing. This is going to be most likely Earth Spirit from the mid lane, keeping things simple with the laning partners as well. The Switch Doctor plus Kez, a lot of kill threat, the stacking damage with the Maledict, the overtime damage from his abilities. It is very deadly, and then having Underlord for DM, this has been his bread and butter pretty much ever since he started to play professional Dota, and it feels good, I would say. It's very good against the Centaur, against the Stampede, this like big AoE abilities, and also Kez loves to have heroes who go in first and provide some kind of a vision for him, and he does have 2 big bodies in front.
What about, I think they need a 4 for Yandex. This is not 4 that often, but I like the Bane here for them. It gives them a lot of setup for Earth Spirit to go in, for the Underlord ult. It also gives them a grip cancel for the BKB Black Hole into the mid to late game. So I think it fixes a lot of their issues. If you try to go for something more like in the Soxa route, it'd be like a Shadow Demon. But it doesn't really feel that good picking it into the Centaur, especially if it's a support Centaur. It's like this guy's going to be so comfortable ulting and just like getting them out. They do ban it, but I kind of like the Bane. It's not, the most common 4, but it's a very strong here in the patch. Your 5 does provide a lot of damage with Witch Doctor, so it's okay to kind of have this more utility position for her.
I'd be okay with Shadow Demon because, like, you still get some value against the Stampede from the Disruption. It's good against the save because they have the combo. Like, it would break the combo with the Dragon Knight going in, the arrow plus the Dragon Tail setup. Good against the Black Hole later on to have extra bit of a save. And it's anti-carry.
Because that's a different form of save.
Yeah, he does play it, but he did not play it in the last 2 tournaments.
Okay. So it's definitely not at the forefront of his mind. And I was wondering if he would want to go more damage position 4. But, oh, and that's another, not so much save, but disable.
Yeah, they don't have that BKB Black Hole cancel, so it's definitely going to be a factor at some point in the game that you can basically always win if you're LGD if it goes late enough. But it gives them a more solid early game. It's more aggressive catch than the Bane. It's like you can stun, you can hex, you can just go and it's showing like they want to play this very, very quick 3-man ball with supports plus Earth Spirit, and at any time the Underlord can ult to give them backup. And now, probably assuming it's a Yuma last pick, you need to pick something, in my opinion, that is able to show up to these fights and hopefully force the Kez to show up. And if he doesn't, you outnumber them.
Do you think there's... I'm just thinking of Underlord dominators. Do you think there's any potential for an Ursa or something along those lines?
He likes it a lot, and he's a very good Ursa. I just don't have that much faith in the hero this
Yeah,
spot.
I don't really believe in the hero per se, but...
I would think maybe Wind is something that he's played, is pretty aggressive. Gives him another stun with some arrow follow-up. It's not the greatest lane necessarily in the Underlord, but I think with strong support it could be good. But they take the Sven, which I guess presumably laning with the Mirana.
Yeah.
Gives them that stun as well, and gives them a bit more burst physical damage, I guess.
It's a lot of cleave. It's a lot of AoE that they do have on their side. I don't think he's gonna be like. It wasn't an easy last pick for them, but I also think that they wanted to have something that doesn't care once they go in with a BKB. You talked about the BKB Enigma. Sven, if he's the one who's getting the first initial jump, there isn't really much you can do about it.
They're still not picky between the Centaur and the
They're
Enigma.
deciding who they want to offlane and support right now. That's really funny. It will
Okay,
be
so it's a
Whisper
position
on-
5 Centaur.
Yeah,
There you go.
it will be Whisper on Enigma.
I think you're still going to be like laning, even though it is King Jungle's playing Centaur, you still want to be laning this with Enigma and have Mirana in the lane with Sven. Because I feel like if you
I think so.
if you lane Sven with Centaur against Underlord and Lion, it is a bit of a grief, yeah.
The cool thing for me with the Sven pick is the innate. It's basically Sven does more damage if heroes are stunned, and they have a stun on every single hero on their team. So they do have a way to constantly make the Sven do that burst damage on the heroes. And he, in theory, again, should be good versus the Kez, because Kez doesn't like getting killed at the very start of the fight. Like, he wants to be able to get all his spells off. He wants to click 8 buttons every single fight. But I don't particularly like it versus the Witch Doctor or the Kez, because I think that they have like enough stuns and reset for Yandex. So I don't think Yuma's gonna have a good time
It's
this
like
game.
you have to perfectly execute a team
Yeah.
fight, and you cannot make a mistake. Otherwise, it will very easily open.
I think
up
it's so
Yandex's.
easy for him to get a random BKB off,
Yeah.
press the Raptor Dance, get the slashes, go back to full health, and then Sven's sitting there like, oh, okay, I guess I wasted all my spells and it's over.
And Monkeys, where are you sitting for this one? It's our final best of 3. You got to keep your 100% prediction streak alive.
Well, I don't know if it's that good, but I certainly am leaning towards LGD. One of my favorite lessons from when I competed in Dota was, it doesn't matter how good you are at Dota if you're stunned. If you can't play the game, if you can't play the game, it just doesn't matter. You could be satanic level, and if you're stunned the whole time, you
Can't do anything.
can't do anything.
Sometimes it's just as easy as going back to the basics. Every hero has a stun, immediate win. We'll see if it's that easy and straightforward for LGD, as they are coming up against Yandex in this elimination round, best of 3 with Sunspan and Syndrome.
Thank you. Yes, this is quite the series. I think not a lot of us were expecting Yandex to be in this position. Elimination on the line here for this best of 3. Sunshine Center, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited for this game. There's a lot of on the line that goes without saying, but yeah, not only are Yandex here, they're here with a 2-3 record, which I think is
true,
extra surprising. So obviously you guys saw the clip if you were watching pre-game that they were picked by LGD to be their opponents. Unfortunately for LGD, they didn't have anyone to pick from because all the other teams had already been chosen.
That's right.
I don't think this would have been their choice if they were given one.
No,
but,
I don't think so.
So this will be
There's a reason they were last picked.
Yes, very good reason indeed. One of the best teams of the season, just haven't looked the best at this event, but that's the thing about Yandex. Sometimes they have a little bit of a slow start, they get things figured out, and then this team can still be in the running for the whole thing. LGD hasn't had the same success in this season. They've had their moments for sure.
Yeah, but they are the sweetheart of this tournament, Cinderin.
That's
Opson
true.
instantly puts you in that category. KJ with his speech last year.
Aura farming.
That's right.
And it's arguably the last home representative here in LGD as an org. So China's last hope for this TI, if you will.
Very true.
Unfortunately for them, 3 teams participating, neither of them made the main event.
Neither
So
of the
here we
3.
are.
Huh?
Yes,
Okay.
that's one way to put it. That is correct. None of the 3. Thank you, Sunsven, for that. I've got a couple of things to go over in this game. Really interesting lineups. First of all, I believe this is the first support centaur of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen it mid and off lane, you and I at least, quite a bit.
I have seen KJ play this, just not at this tournament.
Yeah, I think so.
And it did not go well.
No.
It was really bad.
But I will say, I like that they flexed it this game to support, because in my eyes, he's playing against 2 of the hardest counters of the entire tournament in Kez and Underlord. We've cast, I want to say, almost a handful of games of Kez versus Centaur, and I feel like Kez just kills him every time.
We've had a lot of chicken and horse in this
obliterates him,
tournament,
yeah.
no doubt about it.
The chicken is just stronger, it would seem. So that's interesting coming out from LGD. I think, as the panel pointed out, very important for this game. Hang on.
Okay.
Not a kill that I had on my radar. Level 1.
Wow.
Underlord and Lion kill Mirana.
Okay.
Great start for DM.
Interesting.
What a crazy Underlord game. Am I wrong? He's playing into 3. He's playing into Dragon Knight, Sven, and, I mean, support Centaur, but still Centaur. Looks like DM could have a field day, especially if he's getting first blood.
It feels like, I don't know if you feel the same way, this hero has been picked a good amount, and it feels like the win rate has got to be really good. It's been impactful in every single game that we've cast at the very least.
The other good piece of news for Yandex, aside from it being a good Underlord game, is the fact that they've got their hands on, in my eyes, the best hero of the entire tournament so far. The first pick, Earth Spirit here. You saw the win rate being, I think it was 25-12, his current scoreline is, which, first of all, is obviously very high, having a 67% win rate, but it even comes with the asterisk that that is a hero that's getting first picked a lot.
Yeah.
Usually, heroes that have this high of a win rate, even with like 15, 20 games, is because, oh, they get picked late in the draft, you have more info, Theolicor should be fine. It's just poking and prodding a little bit. When a first pick hero has over 60% win rate, that is generally an indication that either the hero has not been figured out or it's just too strong. And in this case, I feel like it's maybe both. I have not been convinced with any solutions that I've seen teams run.
Why are teams letting it through?
I don't know. I would first ban this hero every game if I'm second pick. I just think it's too powerful. It has too good of a win rate. And just the thing about it is it's very flexible. You can even play it position 3, as we've seen coming out from Iron Wing. They're the only team to do it, I believe, so far.
Thompson, a bit of trouble, Chira Jr. Forcing him out, has the level advantage on the Earth Spirit for now. And the roll is going to miss under the Tier 1 tower. He's going to get Dragon-tailed. Some good damage coming out from Thompson now, trying to turn this around. Not able to chase him down as there's a full wave now for Thompson to enjoy.
I want to call that a disrespectful roll. Like, do you really think that's not going to sidestep that one? I mean, at least he didn't put down a boulder. Then he would have rolled all the way into the tower and probably died. But
so Thompson has played a unique hero in every single game except for the DK, which this is now the 3rd.
Correct.
And they picked both DK and Sven against this Kez. He's going to have to hold that thought as Theolicor getting some harass and damage put on him. But yeah, they picked 2 high armor heroes against basically the only physical damage on Yandex, which is the chicken. Everybody else is magic.
Yep. Oh, big damage going into
Malice,
my ear.
Yuma,
This hurts.
double proc with the Firestorm as well. We'll be okay, but
this lane is super strong. If you think about why teams run Underlord Rubik, where you Pit of Malice, then when they're exiting the pit, you lift them and throw them back in. Lion has 2, well, he has 1 stun and 1 hex that slows your movement speed to a crawl. So can stay in the pit for very long and eat all that Firestorm damage. It's a very, very strong lane. And yeah, I'm with you on the Kez. I feel like tanky heroes just don't look tanky against this guy.
No.
And that's why I'm optimistic.
stuns are
overall.
good against him.
That's true, but I am optimistic overall for Yandex just because we've seen so many games of Kez killing these tanky boys. And, well, LGD's 2 primary core positions are built around being burly. And we'll see if they can handle it. They did pick DK into Kez, so I believe they consider it a good matchup. Remains to be seen if Thompson can prove that later on.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. If you blink in with human form Dragon Tail as like an initiation, Watson won't have any time to actually react.
That's the biggest upside in that matchup. Oh, Maledict onto KJ.
Yeah. Gets off the hoof stomp onto 2, getting blocked by the Eidolons of his teammate, who's doing some good damage to Malady. Looks like it might be a trade between the two supports as DM kills off Yuma. That's the bigger of the kills here in that bot lane.
Oh, Theodore.
Malady able to dodge the arrow. To the south he goes as Whisper getting dove by the chicken. Watson looks like he'll get it with that Echo Slash. Parries the tower as a TP from the support Centaur.
Oh,
with a blood grenade. Watson, are you dead here? Being chased by a half-man, half-horse. Trying to deny himself on the creeps, and they will suffice. Nicely done from Watson. Yeah, very unfortunate for LGD.
Absolutely nothing for LGD there. And now might even be in trouble in mid. This is level 6 Earth Spirit. Line has rotated in with the 2 disables.
Magnetized with the roll to follow. Thompson not going to get any support, it seems. Will be able to regen up enough to stay alive. It's off the Dragon Tail to create a little bit of extra space as the stones keep being applied to him. He'll barely survive here, but that's his first dragon form as well, so that's ends up kind of being used in a defensive measure, which is not what you want to see as a DK.
Good thing for him he had that infused raindrop. Otherwise he would have definitely died. Survived with about 80 HP on his way out. Built so far all Yandex. And this is the thing when you run something a little bit funky like this. Okay, hang on. Pressure.
Oh, would have been nice. All they can do is some harassment damage now.
When things develop like this, I'm very curious how King Jungles will find impact later. That's my biggest worry, is what is the Centaur going to offer? Because as a support hero, a lot of the time what you're looking for in Centaur is, well, if Stampede is really good, you'll always have that globally to help with. But I just think the Underlord matchup is horrendous. He's going to get Ags and have these huge pits, and you just stuck in place. So even that feels kind of hard to pull off. So curious about his itemization. Is he going to just act as an initiator with a dagger, and he's just going to buy Windblaze Blink? That is exactly what he queued up for now, at least. He's going for Blink Yules in his idea pool. Unfortunately for Centaur, as a support, usually the way this hero farms is through levels with Retaliate and then having regen enough to spam Double Edge. He's going to have neither. So it's not easy to come by some gold on this when running the support role.
Bet he wish he was playing Zeus right now. That's one of his signatures as a position 5. Yeah, I have yet to see, it's a very small sample size, but I've yet to see a support Centaur be of any use at any point of the game. And you're right, against the Underlord, it's going to be extremely tough, because it's not like you can itemize for, like, even Aghanim Scepter, which I know is a later game item, but supports do get this kind of farm throughout the game, but even that doesn't look that good this game.
No.
Like, they have a lot of AoE damage from Yandex, and then inside these pits, like, you're getting a Yules, you're just going to get pitted again after you come back down. It's mostly for the Magnetize, I would assume, but
I definitely
feels like they have all their corners covered here for Yandex.
I think what LGD need to play for here is some sort of really strong mid-game timing with Sven and a BKB Blink Enigma, because, like the panel talked about, there's no BKB cancel. I guess except Kez can probably just obliterate you, and I believe you can still apply a stun through BKB with a Shodasai, if I'm not mistaken.
Then, help with the Malefit. Oh, very good dodge from Watson. Will survive the gank. So another dragon form. Thompson's going to have to get away from this Witch Doctor now. Going to get rolled on with the Magnetize and the Maledict attempting to TP. He will get out before the Pit of Malice applies. That's now 2 dragon forms not being used to push towers. I mean, how important is that for DK? Because we don't get to see this here all that often anymore.
I think it's less important than it used to be with the flow of the game. And even though these moments might seem kind of pointless because he doesn't accomplish much, at the very least, what you are doing by forcing Yandex to respond to you is that you're giving Yuma free space. And I think it's much more important in this game that Sven has something than that DK does. So if he has to sacrifice some hundreds of gold to make these rotations and force TPs out of the enemy team, so be it. Because this game is coming down to Yuma and Whisper way more than Thompson at the end of the day. I just don't think DK is going to have enough output. And the Kez matchup, I still firmly believe, is good for the Kez. So you're better off investing into the Sven, who I think has the best matchup in the game.
Is that what he bought in the last game he played?
Radiance?
Yeah.
Don't
Radiance DK.
think he did.
I didn't get to see that.
I feel like he was prioritizing Shard into BKB and then overwhelming Blink, I believe.
Interesting. Oh, what do you think of Radiance on DK?
It's a lot slower and greedier, and frankly quite uncharacteristic for this player. Thompson usually doesn't go heavy into the farming.
That's true. We're going to double hooks on from KJ into the Dragon Tail and into the first black hole of the game. Nicely done from LGD. They get Chira along with the support, but Yuma might be the trade. Impale finds him from Soxa.
Should be
Nothing
still be a
comes for
tower
free.
though. Mid tower is a great takedown. Yes, you might lose your safe lane tower, but definitely favoring overall LGD in this trade. Also putting a little bit of a dampener on Earth Spirit. As I say that, he hasn't even got an assist yet, but this hero just feels like it develops into an entirely different beast when it gets Vessel. And that's been delayed by a lot. Doesn't even have the urn yet.
And he's bottom net worth of the cores right now, which is a bit surprising. And look at KJ's farm. I mean, I have to say, he's doing okay on the Centaur. I don't even know how he got that double hoof stomp. We didn't get to see the beginning of that, but...
Yeah, he got the kill on Chira Jr. That helps a lot. That was like 300 gold for him. Watson not anticipating the smoke top. This would be a huge kill.
We're going to find this Mirana. Looks like an absolute freebie for the Yandex side.
Watson can't
Stomp onto Kez. Watson trying to parry something, but Thompson is here to help right-click him into oblivion. A big kill for LGD. So now a couple trades across the map in favor of LGD, finding some momentum.
Yeah, also perhaps going to be opening this tower with this. Dragon Form up in 5 seconds. And you obviously have the level 4 Eidolons with Drum ready to roll and a Siege Creep. So yeah, this is just a done deal. Looking good so far for them in this earlier portion. And again, the very good piece of news here is Enigma's game is looking stable.
KJ having to use the Stampede to attempt to get out from Soxa. Oh, they actually canceled Thompson's TP. He'll get a kill, but that is an unfortunate trade for LGD this time around as Watson gets the better of that exchange.
Yeah. Thompson getting a kill on a tower is a little bit of a band-aid on all of that, though, overall.
How much does Watson want to avoid buying an MKB? I'm trying to figure out this Radiance. Because if you have good amount of HP and a lot of armor, which DK has,
yeah,
evasion seems like the next best thing to counteract a Kez.
It's good.
And there's, I feel like, what other evasion? You're not going Halberd, right? Does that even exist anymore?
I don't know if we've even seen it purchase a single time this tournament.
Butterfly, I feel like I've seen Butterfly and DK like super late game, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is interesting, especially because, realistically speaking, Sven will never buy an evasion item. So if you're forcing Kez to buy an evasion item against you, then that item will be less efficient against the Sven. So you're kind of not allowing him to get the quote-unquote perfect build to counter both heroes simultaneously. It's an interesting line of thinking here, if that is the rationale. And like I was saying, I think it's uncharacteristic for Thompson to go this type of items, but I think the mindset is, well, we have a Centaur who's going to get an early blink. We have an Enigma who's also going blink. Maybe it's a bit too much of the same thing, and we need something that just packs a punch and keeps scaling us.
Yeah.
And it's him. This is essentially him preparing that if the game goes late, I think LGD will be very comfortable. That's the other thing. It's like, well, if we don't see Yandex with a lineup that's going to push very fast, which is indeed the case, we can probably get there. Then we'll have a BKB Blink Enigma late in the game. And if DK has farmed up a lot and actually gets to his 5th, 6th slot, maybe you just out-lane game them. Maybe you outscale the Kez.
We have yet to see it. It feels like we are cursed to see Kez win every single time. It's usually coupled up with like a Slardar or something to that effect. But I mean, the thing with Yandex's lineup is we already talked about Earth Spirit being the mid of the tournament. Kez kind of the carry of the tournament in a lot of ways. And Underlord can just join in at any time. It's like probably the most powerful Ags that in this meta, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like, especially a first purchase Ags, it's crazy good.
They definitely have S-tier heroes on all 3 core positions on the Dire. I think
Dota Plus seems to love LGD's chances here, though. 65-35.
Absolutely. I mean, they're in a good spot. Dota Plus always loves Enigma when it's not losing. Some late-game heroes are just inherently going to win more often than not, but especially with the pacing of Dota overall. You've seen the average game time of this tournament compared to historically. The games go late.
Yeah.
And some heroes are just beasts in that phase of the game. Ironically, I think LGD's weakest late-game core is Sven. Sounds a bit weird to say out loud considering how hard this guy hits, but obviously when you get late enough, Sven kind of suffers from a narrow timing window. When you have a 7-second BKB, you're a transformation-based hero with God Strength, and obviously you cannot refresh BKB since a couple of patches ago. So once the BKB runs out, you oftentimes get kited and solved with itemization. But that's harder to do against DK, and especially Enigma is very hard to itemize against in a game like this.
Yeah, I guess we can look forward to what itemizations Yandex needs to go for against the Whisper Enigma, is because they don't have any BKB piercing stuns outright. What can they do once this Enigma gets BKB refresher, if it goes that late?
And if your Kez gets Black Hole, you're kind of screwed, right? I guess Wind Wakers will always be on the menu. Aeon Disc, the 2 classic Enigma counters will have to be purchased in some fashion.
There's no real Abyssal carry. I mean, it would be interesting to Kez with it, but it just doesn't feel like he would want to buy that in general.
I do believe he can still stun through BKB when he pops Raven's Veil, right? And goes for the...
that's true.
I think that pierces...
Probably.
Again, that's what I'm saying. But regardless whether that is still the case or not, if he gets Black Hole, then nobody else can step up to the plate. And he's the primary hero you want to Black Hole anyway. So it's not really that big of a concern, I think, for Whisper overall.
Now DM about to finish the Aghanim Scepter, so Fiend's Gate about to be a global surprise for LGD to have to counteract.
I think another thing to keep in mind here is when it goes late, something that oftentimes matters a lot is the ability for supports to farm. And Yandex's supports don't farm very well. Witch Doctor and Lion, 2 of the slower ones. I think Centaur will outscale them. I think Mirana will outscale them. And the reason that becomes extra important in this game is that oftentimes later in the game, the teammates that will have to save from Black Hole will be supports with Wind Waker. And Lion and Witch Doctor will take a long time to get there. Soxa started with drums, so he's going to have to buy Blink next. So before he even starts thinking about it, we'll be far away.
I feel like they kind of picked 2 supports that are very
next on Whisper.
Oh, that's a
shown.
Whisper goes back into the pit and will fall. So good kill from Yandex. And that is the showcase of the Underlord Ags. So now LGD knows.
The reveal.
Radiance online now for Thompson.
Oh, there's your answer to your question. First time of the tournament.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool. And I think later he can turn it into... I mean, is Nullifier good this game? If they get Wind Wakers, I suppose it would be. And Soxa against the Hex. Looks like he wants to run away. Doesn't realize that that is a support Centaur, of course.
This genuinely feels like it's going to be a farm fest for a while.
I'm into this for late game.
Yeah.
A lot of these games, it feels like, I don't know if I want to see this late game because, I don't know. This feels like it could be a really epic show match.
Oh, Thompson is playing for fun, right? So show match.
That's true. I mean, the fact that we get to see the first Radiance on DK this tournament, and probably first I've seen personally ever.
I think this was very popular when DK was played as carry in some games, right? I think they were going Radiance.
How many years ago was that?
1.
Really?
Maybe 2. I feel like Skeeter must have bought Radiance on DK.
Must have a goldfish memory.
I mean, maybe I'm just making it up. Wouldn't be the first time I'm imagining things.
I mean, that would have been before the evasion. So it makes even less sense on a potential range here.
Chira Jr.
Connection. Chira Jr. roll is going to connect onto KJ, but it's not a way to get out of the double edge range. So good kill from LGD again.
Early gem here from King Jungles. Interesting. Gonna fly that one out now. Doesn't inherently counter any heroes, so this is strictly for map control.
But yeah, going back.
Another jump.
Okay, that's the
Soxa. There's the arrow.
Soxa looks to be dead. There's DM. Can't find any more, it seems. Actually blocks off the potential path for KJ. He TP's out right in the midst of all of it, though. His DM, a baby blink as it work. It's going to get Stormhammer, though, from the Sven. As DM just taking an absolute beating inside. There's the Black Hole at the last moment onto Kez. This will be an even bigger kill for Yuma and company. They get him. It's a 4-for-1. The Underlord barely gets out. Huge fight for LGD.
This is going really, really well for them. Just Monkeys was talking about this on the panel. Doesn't matter how good you are if you're stunned. And, well, this last couple of team fights, Kez hasn't been able to press a single button. So, yeah, he has good net worth, but if he keeps getting caught in Black Holes and Dragon Tails, he doesn't really do anything. Just nice setups from LG, and you can clearly see in the trajectory of this game, Yandex are forced to play very reactively, which I don't think is when they're at their best, and it's not when Earth Spirit shines. This hero is really good when you are setting the tempo, taking initiative, and I feel like for the last 10 games, every single move of the game has been initiated by LGD. And another one now, Soxa. Are they going to be able to connect? No. Not going to follow up on that. They will defend their tower for now. Maybe just deny it here, I would imagine.
I think so.
One hit away from Thompson, but they are holding on to it.
Greedy. Okay.
Maybe they want to try to bait on it. I think Theolacor just pinged it.
Thompson just a recipe away from his BKB. We already saw Yuma with his. And I would assume that Daedalus... Oh, looks like he's going for Blink before the Daedalus.
Yeah, makes sense. Want to make sure you can connect. This is the best carry in Dota, in my opinion, to buy Blink on, because if any of your teammates set you up, you are the most insane immediate follow-through. Like Gunnar mentioned, the innate, you do more damage to stunned heroes. All of your teammates have stuns.
I have to say, I do miss Ags, though.
Yeah, the good,
Superman Sven was
Superman.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, they still have it, but it's not as good.
They got rid of the extra hit, and that's all that it took, apparently. That good.
That was crazy. Oh,
looks like he's just going to finish that as find an Enigma. A Whisper looks to be dead here.
Could get the
nice
Shrine of Wisp
from Malady. He did. Not that it would matter at 21 minutes that much.
Everything adds up. Whisper is going Octarine before BK. That is, wow. Even more of the mindset of we don't feel any time pressure. Like, I don't have to get this value item yet. Just keep farming. Maximize my output on the map. Obviously, one of the big upsides to Octarine on Enigma is people are mainly going to be focused on the cooldown reduction on Black Hole, but the cooldown reduction on Demonic Summoning matters a lot. You're constantly farming more, you're pushing waves, you're forcing the enemy team to take care of random garbage around the map. And again, the more reactively Yandex have to play, the fewer moves they're able to make with their Underlord, with their Earth Spirit. So it's probably going to work out just fine, at least in this game state. If they were losing, I would not have liked this.
Yeah.
But I think playing from ahead, it's all right.
So you feel like Yandex are in a window of sorts that they need to figure out before LGD gets to the actual late game?
I do strongly feel like Yandex want to do something right now. It's going to be the Tormentor, as it looks. Stampede.
Stampede.
For
not
what?
going to find
for
anyone.
what exactly?
Watson. Rest of his team going to attempt to go for this Tormentor. Looks like they'll get it.
Yeah. They're low, though.
Careful. We'll be rewarded.
A little bit interesting to see. I'm assuming it's because he's playing against Enigma that Malady went for 4 points in cast, because what we usually see is 1-4-4. And obviously, it was glaringly obvious on this Tormentor attempt that they did not have 4 points in the Restoration, as they did not heal very much. Haven't got too much bang for their buck, though, on that cask, I have to say. Not yet, anyway. Yuma. They see him on the ward. Shira Jr. No BKB yet.
Gets initiated on. Arrow is going to hit, and that is enough damage for days. Yuma, credit for that one. Panel talked about the innate from Sven. More stuns, the better. More damage you will deal. 3K lead now for LGD. Starting to get a little bit of extra wiggle room now. And of course, we've talked about their late game prowess just being absurdly strong.
What a confidence booster it would be if they managed to beat Earth Spirit in game 1. That is the kind of thing that can determine a series. True. If one of the opposing team's absolute best heroes and one of the best heroes of the tournament gets solved in the very first game.
And the chicken.
And Kez, yeah. It's definitely not because Yandex are trying anything experimental here. They're bringing some of their biggest guns to this game, and so far LGD has had all the answers.
KJ have to take the damage rune. Or at least denies it from Yandex. So BKB online for Thompson. Blink about to be finished as well. We'll be going for short after the fact. And what do you want to see? I mean, what do you want to see after that for him? Just pure damage, like Daedalus, something to that effect?
I think AC is very good this game.
Yep, okay.
Both for yourself and for your Sven, you just want to apply more minus armor to the enemy team. Giving Sven attack speed as an aura is super nice.
Extra armor against Kez.
Against Kez, yeah, you just want to beef up. Yeah, I think AC is the obvious choice, but it's Thompson, so he's probably going to buy something else.
Like E-Blade? That's his.
I mean, I know he's playing for fun, but I
too.
think he's also playing to win.
Yeah, of course. You can have
Arrow
and win.
Oh,
Arrow not
barely.
going to hit. Malady and Watson trying to get through the gate, but they're going to have to cancel it. Stormhammer comes with the God Strength as well. The Fiend's Gate's going to be a little bit too late. Not even the Raptor Dance goes off, and that's an assassination cruise. Yuma with the double kill. Now the Fiend's Gate down. See what LG want to try to get going here in that top side of the map. Thompson will continue to push on his lonesome. There might be some trouble. He's going to take a full finger. There's the black hole counter initiation, though. Thompson turns into a dragon. Oh my god, the damage is out of control. They're going to get a full team wipe as Chira Jr. falls. Huge turnaround. What a bait. Man alive, LGD showing up in game number 1.
That's just beastly.
Disgusting display.
What a crazy setup. And the dream situation, obviously these Yandex heroes, they don't have burst damage without the Kez, so the kill onto DK takes a long time. You have to use all of your abilities, and well, guess what? It's just as easy as 1-2 buttons for Whisper, and that is over before it even started. 8K
That's why he didn't go BKB. He knew he wouldn't need it. He just gets everybody in the black hole.
You don't need BKB if nobody can play. That's true.
Crazy.
This is becoming a landslide victory now. This is already, it was looking good 10 minutes ago. Now this is a massive
where it began.
Situation.
Getting these 2 pickoffs was very big.
And you can see this is not the first team to pick Sven into Kez. I feel like this matchup is double-edged in the sense that, yeah, you both just kill each other ridiculously fast, but Yuma has had the much better conditions to output that damage with all of the teammates playing really nicely as a unit. Now, Roche was not claimed, even though this essentially was a full team wipe. They didn't really have the time to do that, but they will
just
keep the pressure up.
Perfect timing, man. Thompson was dead with another half second. Yeah. Soxa.
Oof. Yeah, that one hurts. Malady, this
Absolutely.
one hurts too.
Beans Gate is placed. Soxa in a bit of trouble. Thompson's going to clean him up in all likelihood. Watson trying to work on the Dragon Knight himself. You see the God Strength being worked onto Watson again. The chicken dead. That's 2, make it 3 down and out for Yandex as DM with the Malefice. Nowhere to go. And close to another team wipe in favor of LGD.
Whew.
And now they are in firm control of this game, if they weren't already.
Oh,
the Yules!
No way they kill him.
Thompson, Dragon Tail keeps him in place, and it is another team wipe for LGD.
And in the meantime, the double Eidolon set is going to push top lane. Look at this damage with this Octarine core. They're going to get a tier 3 off of this as well, or at least the glyph and 80% of the tower. They also get Roche. I mean, this is like, in the last 10 minutes, they've gained like 12,000 gold.
Yeah, for sure.
On Yandex. It's a 1k GPM conversion. And there you go.
Sange Yasha.
The item we all expected, Sanjin Yasha.
All right.
Honestly makes a lot of sense when you're this far ahead.
I'm a big SNY lover, so.
Yeah. Tankiness, mobility.
Dash resist against the roots, I suppose, and the stun.
Countless stuns, yeah.
Thompson will be one to take the Aegis. They don't really have a... They both transformation heroes.
He already has 2 at home. Need someone else.
That's true. He's looking for a third, though, a permanent third.
Yep.
Close to finishing the fireball. As KJ with that Yule setting up another potential kill, but Soxa getting blocked off by the frog that he created. Attempting to blink TP. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah.
Very small glimmer of hope for Yandex as they are now down 14k. Thompson knocking on the tier 2.
That's a tier 1.
He'll be knocking on the tier 2 shortly.
Okay. Good prophecy here. You were right. Thompson's about to knock on the tier 2.
Hit it once and I'm correct. Boom! Eat it, Cinderin. Piece of garbage.
Uncalled for. It's nothing wrong with being technically correct.
Feels like a really late BKB for Chira.
It is. His game has been terrible. He's 0-5-3 on Earth Spirit. I mean, the panel did set him up for failure when they said they haven't seen a single bad Earth Spirit game. So I guess it's time for one
Light
now.
Shadow.
When it matters the most.
Chira gonna connect with the smoke. Arrow not gonna hit. Yuma.
If they were to see anyone here, Yuma is ready to just roll and get in there immediately.
He is seen. I don't think they want to go on the Aegis carrier. 3.5 minutes to go on that. All right, so in the position that they're in, 16k lead, they have late game, we assume on paper, just a better late game as well. What do you do with this Aegis? What's the plan? Because you have all the tier 2s now. Do you actually try to go for the tier 3 and a potential barracks?
I think playing map control is good. I think Yandex have to make a move, but it's extremely difficult. You're confident in your 3 scaling cores, you're confident in the scaling of your supports. The one way you lose this is that you overplay in the enemy base, and then Earth Spirit gets a fat magnetize, and you get caught in all sorts of pits.
Right.
But if you are setting the terms of the fight by taking it outside the base,
Well, they did get a shield
fine.
rune. Oh, yeah, Dragon Tail initiation.
Okay.
Goodbye, Chira. That is a Sven with some damage. 50 seconds on the deck for you.
we get a classic pickup. I was just about to say Centaur, not exactly a hero that usually buys Eon Disc, but, you know, support Centaur can take a different approach.
Got to be careful with the double edges on creeps now. The shield rune for Thompson's going to keep him quite healthy as now they're pounding on the high ground. God strength for the Sven is down for 56.
Yeah, with shield rune, Maledict does nothing because you're not losing HP.
Yeah, that's true.
So you actually just shrug it off.
They're just going to have to give this up as there's the Sven initiation again. The double stun. Nowhere to go for the chicken. Trying to counteract another beautiful black hole, though. It feels like this is just a replay. GG is called as LGD.
Oh my god!
Wow, what a performance in this game number 1.
Okay, I mean, you could have told me they were going to win the game. I didn't think they were winning it at 30 minutes with this lineup. That was a complete stomping and a half. Sending a message here in game number 1, beating Yandex not only handedly, but with some of their best picks. This is going to be a tough one to recover from.
What a game number 1. Let's go to the panel.
We're going to talk about everything that happened in this game number 1 for LGD because it felt like too easy to say stuns on every hero can get you the win, but it really was just that simple, monkeys. Of course, the execution was top-notch from LGD. Everything out of lanes early game, and when it came to team fighting, it felt like there was no flaw that you could point out for them.
Absolutely. I mean, LGD, they just there was no downside to what they were doing. They had a good early game. They managed to make the Centaur pause 4 work. At one point, the Enigma, Whisper on Enigma, he did end up going Earn early on in drums, and he was delaying this BKB, which personally I was questioning a bit, but that doesn't even matter when you're just landing 3-man black holes and no one can even interact with you.
You kind of just sit there, you wait for Kosk to go out, and you go, all right, now we can re-engage here, Lacoste.
Yep, I'm looking at this game, and I was looking at this season pretty closely. CJ from the mid lane, one of the best mid laners of the season, and you're looking at him, he's dominating a lot of these matchups. Then suddenly Thompson Daddy, he comes in and he's like, yo, what up? It's not looking good. He is stomping them, and the new build, like every single game, he has a bit of a newer build. He's theory crafting what can happen if he goes for a different route. This time around, it was Radiance. Again, it does make a lot of sense because AoE increase, it is 650, and then you get the extra 120. I don't think he was level 25 in this game. He would get extra 60 on top of that.
But if he got there.
But if he got there, that's a lot of AoE. Big Radiance, big Fireball as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed by LGD. The stuns win games. Unfortunately, the Sven does not have the innate for the bonus damage on stun. So,
just to clarify, our casters were wrong.
Yeah, they were the only ones wrong.
They were the only ones that were wrong in saying that.
I would never be wrong
This
about
panel
the
would never be
mechanic.
wrong.
No, of course not.
So that was pure Yuma just strength on the Sven, doing all the damage all himself. He doesn't need an
That's
innate
the
to do
Yuma
bonus
diff.
damage. That was just Yuma. But it was just really impressive. I think there's a couple times in the game that looked like Yandex was going to start getting a snowball with the Earth Spirit, start getting these kills. He was getting a kill on Whisper top. He was running around. They got the kill on tops in the laning stage. But it felt like it was just very consistent black holes from Whisper, just over and over, getting 3 men. And it goes again to this, for me, Lion pick. They don't pick a BB cancel on the carry, on the support. They don't have a way to stop this black hole. And sure, it's like they don't get to that late game, but if you can't stop the black hole early, why do you even hope to get to late game?
And also Sven, the matchup against Kez, he likes to be playing longer fights, just straight up carry-to-carry matchup, once Sven goes in, if he's getting that first initial jump, if he's popping the BKB, again, they have no BKB piercing ability, so Sven can do whatever he wants if he's not the one getting jumped, and in this game, he wasn't getting jumped, and a lot of the times, Kez, he wants to use his Raptor Dance, go back to full HP. Against Sven, with this overwhelming damage in short period of time, you can't even use that. Like, we've seen it a couple of times where he's using it, but the Sven just kills him through it.
There was a lot around warding and positioning for this game, more often than what we see in an average game, because there were wards coming out where this Kez is getting caught off guard. Whisper's Enigma positioning was next level as well. But I do want to focus on the big question mark we have. We knew Centaur was very impactful. There was that flex between him in the mid lane as well as the off lane, but they're two roles that get gold. Now we see him in support role, a role that doesn't get much gold, yet it's still a high impact. And when that comes to mind, it's like, why is a hero still able to have what feels like a high impact when it's not getting gold, when it doesn't necessarily have the same item progression?
It's a lot. The ult has a lot of value in this patch. Some teams pick a lot of stuns, like LGD, but I think a lot of other teams are relying more on kind of slows and maybe roots to some extent. So BKB is high value item right now, which is why, again, you can connect all these concepts. Physical damage isn't really big in the meta as well. That's why I think the Sven, the Kez. So if you're relying on, okay, well, physical damage through their BKBs to stop the slows, if you just stampede them out, now the BKBs will get out jail free card because they can't be slowed, they can't be rooted, and they're hasted. So it just seems like that one spell is enough for Centaur to have pretty much all the impact.
A lot of value, yeah. And it has been done in the past, but ever since, if you have an offlaner, a ranged offlaner that can play the game with the melee position for somebody like Enigma, it is kind of a perfect pairing. It's not like maybe the Tusk, maybe Tiny 4 when he was in his prime, but in this one, it worked out really well. He got a relatively early Blink Dagger, so Thompson could go for different items. He didn't have to go for the Blink. You also had Sven going for the Blink Dagger as his third item, and then you have this Centaur going in, and also one thing to point out is he picked up a relatively early gem. He had 18-minute gem. The Vision game, you said Vision, some of the wards. Mirana on top of that provides you with insane amount of maneuverability around the map, and this is how it all started. At this point of the game was kind of even. CJ was the only one who's struggling, but this Enigma, we have seen Whisper Enigma many times what he's able to do, and we are also seeing the overwhelming damage coming out from Sven. Once he goes in with that BKB, there really aren't many abilities that can go through. It can be Kez, but also it's a setup for Enigma, and what Enigma needs to do is just wait it out and then black hole this Kez, and the rest, the damage is gonna go through.
It's the same thing. You just see him a little bit off in the corner, just waiting patiently and biding his time, going, all right, there's no one else that can stun me here. I'm going to go in. Carry shows himself. You're gone. And it kept happening over and over again, Monkeys. We had it early on, 19 minutes there, but it happened later on as well. About 6 minutes later, it is this phenomenal series of executions from the side of LGD.
Yeah, and I think historically this tournament, LGD, they like to draft these end-all be-all late game lineups where they can just scale into the late game. They know that they have the tools that they can utilize to just do the damage, have the lockdown, do all the things they need. And this is a perfect example. I mean, Thompson gets gone on Yandex, thinks they're gonna get this pick off, and then Whisper's just there for the 3-man black hole, turns around, it ends up being a full team wipe, and I think right there, I mean, you can see on Sox's face, that's just that's the beginning
That's just
of the
it,
end.
pretty much. You have enablers for Enigma. You have heroes who go in. You have Centaur, you have these 3 big bodies, and on the other side, you have 3 melee cores that need to group around a hero to be able to kill him, which is a perfect setup for Enigma.
That one feels extra bad, Gunnar, because you see 3 heroes bottom, and you're like, there's no way they're going to be able to connect and save Thompson, and you're thinking, this Enigma has to still be in their jungle. He can't be this close to their mid laner. And you're like, we can do this. And it is just literally only the Enigma that foils your plans, foils your ability to be able to take down Thompson.
It's also the most situation you think of. Mid lane is the most dangerous lane in the game, and you see some guy, he's right outside your tier 2 tower, pushing this wave, full envision. You're like, okay, well, my carry's dying bot. They had a TP, they had to do all this stuff, and then it's almost offensive when a mid laner is pushed up that far at that point in the game, because I've seen so many times. I don't want to count the amount of times I've died in that position just on the enemy side of the map, and they're like, okay, free kill, and then just 300, 400 health, gets his BKB up, gets all the kills. And you definitely, I think that's, you can't have this mentality, but in the back of your head, the players are kind of feeling the game gets really difficult after that.
Yeah, nothing comes free when LGD is in the equation there. Everything comes at a price. But we've spoken about these bigger moments, the more impactful spells, but there's always small things that you can overlook. Someone who never overlooks those small details, though, is Purge.
Thank you, Nat. And we did see a lot of great black holes, but what leads up to it is him farming creeps. So one thing I wanted to look at is how many Eidolons this guy went. He went a very interesting build here. Normally with your second skill, you're supposed to spawn 3 Eidolons and they duplicate to 6. But as you can count here, there's a lot more than 6 going on. So what happened with his item build that was pretty cool is he got the let me move this a little bit so we can see all our items. We got the standard item build of, you know, drum and blink daggers that way he can get the black holes, but he also bought his shard here, which is going to mean that he also spawns Eidolons when he maledicts things. And here's demonic conversion, of course. And then he started building Octarine core. Going for this void stone gives him a giant amount of mana regen. So he can basically spam his first skill, which spawns Eidolons, and his second skill, which spawns Eidolons, as much as he wants to. And then he uses these to put pressure on the map. He forces a glyph with just Eidolons and then still ends up doing like a third of the tower's damage with his Eidolons. Later on, he does the same thing, spawns an abundance of Eidolons. Look how many this is. We're only 23 minutes in the game. It looks like he's level 25. He runs these across the map. He pushes the wave out. He even forces a teleport here from the enemy mid hero. So this is a pretty impactful impact on the game. And then occasionally he can go for these black holes and have really good team fight outcomes that lead to more pushing afterwards. But the Eidolons just keep doing the same thing. His Octarine's finished, his black holes lower cooldown. He can spawn them even faster now that his items finished because the cooldown's lower on these, and allows them to push without showing their heroes at all, while giving them vision, while giving them setup, while farming fast. And this all leads into really good teamfight moments for the squad of LGD. So cool little alteration on the Enigma build that he pivoted to, as he didn't have to worry about stuns as much this game.
That's amazing. Is it only really the Octarine core that was enabling this sort of... Yeah, and the shot. But what you're talking about, the Octarine core was for the mana pool, an extra? I don't... Yep.
Test. Okay. Lower mana or increased mana pool so you can spam his first skill and his second skill constantly. And then it lowers those cooldowns so they can be spammed even more often. And it lowers his black hole cooldown. So it's just an abundance of stuff. Definitely a farming item for Enigma in this case.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Purge. I really appreciate that one being taken down and also answering my extra questions as well there. But it feels like time and time again, we say Whisper proves himself on a different hero, and you let your mind slip. You let your mind wander, and all of a sudden you've forgotten about what his bread and butter is, and it is that Enigma having a phenomenal showing there. But before we talk anything more about this best of 3 between Yandex and LGD, we want to remind you guys that the secret shop is open for this year's TI, and unlike most other days, I don't have the big frogling. I have the very cute small one, and has a little magnet on the bottom as well, so you can stick him on your shoulder, have a companion, as Lacoste has his.
Yeah, my Larguito, he's doing really good. This is my favorite one, I gotta say.
Real good.
You guys like the big ones?
Yeah, this is my favorite.
I just get the Mortimer pillow every time, but it's nice and cuddly. Don't mind it.
I feel like it's got the right amount of stuffing to it. But there's also some mugs. If we go back to the group shot, there's also some courier bags. These ones down here, the Roshan. There's a lot of good stuff that's come out of the adorableness of this year's TI, as well as some cool looking jackets. I feel like that's the one that we need. Valve. Secret Shop, make sure you guys get on over to that one, have a look at everything that you can grab for yourself there. But a lot of other teams are going to get to experience a different sort of joy when it comes to TI, and that's qualifying to the main event. We did have Iron Wing qualifying earlier today over on the B stream, and Nomad was lucky enough to get a few words with Whitemon about how that felt.
Iron Wing are the next team to qualify for the international mage stage here at Shanghai, and I'm here with Whitemon to talk about it. Whitemon, firstly, congratulations on making it through.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this series, it was pretty convincing. I mean, what happened in that game number 1?
I mean, game number 1 is kind of chill, you know. We got all our heroes and we just play the games, and maybe just a little bit discipline, you know. Because we're kind of a bit like throwing in the group stage, so yeah,
all right.
Discipline. Yeah.
I mean, is there a specific moment you can think back to in the group stage where things got a little bit messy for you guys?
I mean, for sure, like we always gone for the game tree, like on the group stats, and we always kind of like throwing our lead. But it's not intentional, you know. It's just sometimes we're kind of a bit crazy, I guess, just like trying to dive or not taking any objectives, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've managed to get that discipline back for sure. I mean, this was so clean from you guys. Game number 2 as well, you know, you're on the Undying. Was this just an answer to a centaur or a hero you just like playing at the moment?
Yeah, I just like the heroes, and I think the heroes is broken. That's what I say, yeah.
All right, I mean, what's the key to being a brilliant Undying player?
I don't know, just taking every objective with tombstone, you know, easy.
Fair enough. All right, that sounds really easy. I'm going to try that one myself. I mean, what do you think about the support meta in this group stage and how it sort of developed?
In the support meta, I feel like it's kind of boring, I would say, because everyone just spamming the same heroes. I would say maybe only the Parivision that have different heroes compared to other teams, I think. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you think anybody in your team is feeling that TI pressure more than others, perhaps? And do you think that's led to maybe some of the lack of discipline earlier on?
I don't think we feel any pressure. It's just that's just how we play. Sometimes we're a bit rash, no passion, you know, no discipline. But we're working on that. Yeah.
Well, yourself, also 33 and Pure, they always seem to put in a performance when it comes to TI main stage. Are you looking forward to playing on the stage with those sort of legends?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we're gonna make like cinema games, you know.
Yeah, you always find a way, that's for sure. I mean, another interesting fact here as well is, I don't know if you know this, but I believe you're the last SEA player going into the TI main stage now. Everybody else is gone. So how does it feel flying the flag for that region?
Yeah, I just feel grateful, I guess, that I will represent the only C players in this TI. Yeah, feels good.
Good stuff. All right. Well, anything you want to say to your fans as you come into the final stage of this tournament then?
Yeah, just keep supporting us and watch us in playoff, I guess. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Whitemon, always a pleasure. Congratulations again on making it, and looking forward to seeing you play, mate.
Whitemon always smiles there, especially qualifying to the main event there with Iron Wing. And the discipline definitely showed. It was a 2-0 for themselves over Gamer Legion, the team that they did pick in our last night's draft show. And unfortunately, Monkeys, the NA hope might have gone and died there. But I think it still lives on a little bit through Whitemon. I mean, he SEA player at heart, but he also came up through NA. So he's actually flying the flag for 2 regions, surely?
Surely. Look,
a bit of a stretch.
You played on TSM. I think that definitely qualifies.
us over in NA, we'll take anyone we can.
We got Whitemon.
Yeah.
We have Iron Wing.
Yeah.
We got Crit AUI, Snaking. So we have Falcons as well.
Obviously.
We're doing pretty good for us at Liquid. We have Blitz.
Yeah.
That's another NA player. So
Okay,
it's 3 teams. Go to the draft for a second, and then I'll get back to you after this.
We have Yuma.
Yuma.
Well, he hasn't qualified to. I was gonna say he hasn't qualified to main stage just yet, but they're in a great position for themselves. They are already 1 game up against Yandex, and you would be thinking, wow. That's such a tough choice. I can't believe Yandex are losing to that pick of LGD. No, LGD are coming in as the highest seed here. Yandex definitely having a really rough group stage for themselves. 2 and 3 is how they're entering this one, with the only 2 teams that they have beaten in their group stage, Hooligani and Team Resilience. They lost to Liquid, Aurora, and Iron Wing. And so it is one of those runs and one of those positions that you're not really sure how to make of them, but when I see their performance in game number 1, Monkeys, I'm not sure that this is the Yandex that had those season wins since last TI.
I mean, it does kind of seem like they're in a bit of a funk right now, but at the same time, you really do just have to give credit to LGD. It's so difficult to draft against these guys. I mean, I believe that's the first time we've seen them play Centaur support for the tournament, and it's a very common first pick, but if you're seeing the Centaur, you're not expecting this flex, and you're not expecting to work.
We expected the flex to the mid lane later on after Enigma. We also kind of saw that it could go into that direction.
Sorry, I meant flex as support.
Yeah. But the teams can definitely also see it, but they don't really think it's gonna be maybe working as good as it was in this one, because it worked out amazingly. And one thing to notice is that LGD, their average game time prior to this series, they have the longest one. It was 55 minutes on average. Yandex on the other side, they had the shortest games. They had 40-minute games. They were closing out the games in 35 minutes. Those in average, those that they won. But in this one, they got completely smacked. So I want to see something a little bit different. I also got to point out that Thompson, he just has this aura every single time. I'm not even kidding. I think it
How would
actually
you describe this aura?
You know that there's something magical about this guy. He's just bringing positive vibes, knowing that he is the meta. Like, this is the meta guy. He is, like, every single time somebody, like, you see these TikTok videos or whatever XM was talking about, this is the guy that started all of that stuff.
I mean, he definitely carries a lot of weight. People have talked about watching his streams. I mean, the way that he's won 2 TIs in the past for himself, but also how he started this TI. We saw very briefly the number of heroes he's picked for himself, Monkeys. What is it, 12 different heroes in 14 games? It's only Dragon Knight. That's the only hero that he's repeated. It's now 3 times he's played Dragon Knight.
And it's not even a meta hero.
No, and it's not even the same build every time either.
I mean, that's the Thompson standard, you know. He just picks whatever he wants to pick. He builds whatever he wants to build, and it usually finds a way to work.
Guys, Yandex has broken Earth Spirit in the pool, and it's just ignored.
It did get ignored, but we did hear Whitemon in his winner's interview for the main stage talk about that he thinks, when it comes to supports, Undying is just broken at the moment. And when you do look at it, I wouldn't say broken. That's 17 wins and 14 losses.
That's pretty average for...
Slightly above average for a support hero.
Obviously, anytime a hero is picked earlier, I think that you can give it like a fake 5% bonus win rate because it's just being picked first by every team that can get their hands on it. But I do think that when a team has a hero that they're willing to first pick and then they start getting into that ignore phase, it definitely puts a big question mark, because now like, maybe LGD just gets an Earth Sphere at the second phase, or now you're feeling forced, like you had this whole plan coming into this best of 3 saying, okay, we're just going to pick Earth Sphere, we're just going to win, and now giving up that plan after one game definitely, for me, is already feeling good if you're LGD.
Yeah, I think this is the matchup that we talked about prior to this, what's going to happen in the mid lane. Chira Jr., he also is the lane counter to certain heroes. Like, he has been picking these Slarks against the Ember Spirits. They do flex Necrophos across 3 different roles. He loves to have that upper hand in the matchup, but doesn't seem like he has it in this one. And seeing, again, LGD opening up with a Centaur, this Centaur can go to the mid lane. Most of the Chira Jr. heroes have been melee. So I want to see maybe something ranged, because this Centaur could go to the mid lane. It could ruin a lot of these melee heroes. I could potentially see something like a Snapfire maybe coming in, because I still think this hero is very strong. The numbers, the hero has been nerfed. It looked pretty OP.
We did see earlier today, it was in the Iron Wing versus Gamer Legion.
It looked good.
They played a Centaur mid, but they had to play versus Lina. And I think Lina's an important hero for Yandex. It's not banned yet. Watson was one of the original Lina carries, so it's still potential flex. And because they are that second pick, they have the overall last pick, so they can supreme flex the Lina to whatever role they want it to be. And they already have it set up with the melee support with the Undying. So I would like a Lina out of the phase. You can even potentially ban that Earth Spirit, just so Thompson doesn't get to play it. He's been playing Earth Spirit for 5 years at this point. He was one of the very first to play it, even when it was bad. And it is, in my opinion, kind of a counter to Lina. Even though you do lose the lane, its play style is perfect against Lina.
I also do want to note Yandex giving Whisper that respect with the Enigma ban in the first phase, so maybe trying to make the Centaur a much more straightforward pick, because I do think Enigma off lane is one of those better lane partners for support Centaur.
Very interesting to me, because
that's politely put, I think.
Picking it into Centaur is
so
interesting.
Centaurs generally, as offlane, like let's just say this from the lens of offlane Centaur.
Sure.
It's still good versus Doom. If you get doomed, there's a good chance you live because you're so tanky, or you can just stampede your teammates out. But now, with this potential of a support Centaur already shown, you're not going to doom the position 5 Centaur. This guy's just going to sit in the back, wait for his core to get Doom, stampede him out. You never get a kill on the guy with BKB. It's also allowing this Lina centaur lane to happen, which I think that's a very good matchup versus the Doom. To me, that's a bit of a wasted pick for them because I think they could have gotten it later if they really wanted it.
It's an odd one. You don't see anything. I also don't think it's a BKB piercing tool in a sense, maybe pre-picking it, but Doom this early, we really haven't seen it for a good reason. This hero isn't really that good. A lot of times, you could pick it on 23, you don't know the matchup. We are in the healing meta, so the hero is good against those things, but against one particular thing that they did see, it's not very good.
I will say Doom has been rising in popularity over the last few days. Yesterday it got picked up a lot more. I think we saw it 16 games. Is what it's being played in. But you're right, it's sitting in that position where it's picked way later in the draft. There's more of a reason to it. It isn't this one that is a foundation or a building block.
Heroes are very tanky in the current meta. Him having percentage-based damage is always going to be good for killing those heroes, but it's still pretty early to pick it blindly.
It's also just typically used as a solution to these massive healers. Necro, Largo, Dazzle.
Io.
Io. I just kind of blind picking it without a reason. Can't say I like it too much.
Oh. Speaking of Io.
Maybe it's a deny pick before to set up their Io. And Bounty Hunter. Wow.
Melee heroes right now.
Also, I want to note LGD, 3 heroes, 3 stuns.
This has to be a core IO, actually. I do love this done joke, by the way, because I don't want to ignore that one. But this, has to be a core IO then, which is what it's predominantly being played in. But I feel like,
5 seconds
I don't know if I like the core IO. I'm sitting right on the fence of it.
There's a still little flex to it. The chances are very low if you want to run some, carry Doom. I think it can work, and then you run offlane Undying, but it's a little too much, so most likely this is just going to be core IO.
How do you guys feel about core IO?
I think it's good in some games, especially depending on the pairings you get. I like it when it has a mid or offlane, or when it's mid. It had just some core pairing that it feels really good with. The Doom one's acceptable, but it's not the absolute best.
I know you've talked about it with Largo.
Largo, yeah. I think that hero's already banned. It's been banned since second phase, so they can't be picking up that one up. But it is a strong safe lane with the Undying. You give them a little bit of Moon Seed, a little bit of mana to help just the decay spam. So they should be winning their safe lane. Bounty with the Doom. I think Soxa, for me, him and 33 back when they laned together, they were the original.
It's a Doom counter.
I love this.
And I think Soxa is able to just survive the lane on these Bounty Hunters, these melee fours, pull for his Doom. Doom should free farm. But then there's an instant response to Doom, which we saw LGD pick up earlier in the tournament, which is this Venge.
It wasn't even picked up against Doom in that particular game.
The Dawn,
but it is a Doom counter. People back in the days when Wraith King was a hero. I got surprised just by saying the name.
What a pull.
Yeah, what a blast from the past.
Deep recesses of his mind.
Because you basically have 2 lives because you go for the Aghanim Scepter. This hero deals insane amount of damage, especially once you get to the Hydra's Breath, level 20 talent as well. Very good scaling. The hero farms much faster than most of the people would expect it to farm. So this means that this Lina is going to go to the mid lane. Unless Thompson wants to run something crazy because he played Troll mid, then maybe there's a reasoning for him to play Venge in the mid lane. It is doable. It's nothing too crazy when we talk about Thompson. But if we want to keep things simple, they are going to be looking for a position 4, some Dark Willow type of a hero, maybe Grimstroke that could come out because you have Io, which means that he's going to be tethered to something throughout the whole game. I like Willow a lot. I think the stocks for Willow has risen quite heavily, especially the performances that we've seen so far in the group stages of TI. It looked very, very good.
Yandex, they're putting support, or they're putting respect on the potential for support Centaur again with the Batrider ban, because Batrider is a Whisper special.
I think this makes your lost ban also very difficult. Then do you go all in on banning out another offlaner? Is that one more of a threat persist? Then
could potentially be a Death Prophet ban or something along those lines. But Whisper hasn't played that yet this tournament. But
you just like that hero. You're just gonna think about it.
I'm just going to expect the Centaur offlane. I think it makes the most sense versus the IO carry potential and the Undying 5 because you can just cut the waves pretty easily. So taking some probably position 4 that is just stable, looks the best to me. I always think about Rubik this patch, but it's pretty bad Rubik.
It has been underwhelming in the most of the games that
I
we've
haven't
seen.
been a fan of him.
And if not Rubik, I do like the snap. I do believe it's been undervalued quite a bit. Even as support, though, everything it did versus the Undying, it still does. You can just press your E, kill the Tombstone. It gives you a lot of follow-up damage for your stuns. And honestly, the save is pretty good versus like melee heroes that want to come in. You just like cookie your guy. He goes back with the shard. It's far enough distance. And then pairing that with the Venge, I think they have a lot of good disengage.
It could even be a Whisper snap. In LGD's first game of the tournament, they played Whisper offlane snap, and he owned on it.
Ooh. We're seeing the Magnus, which I'm going to hope that and assume this is a Whisper Magnus.
Yep.
Not the Nothing to Say mid Magnus that we saw earlier. Was not too big of a fan of that, but I think in the offlane, this hero looks pretty decent just because you have so much farming potential. If you max the Empower, which you can sometimes get away with, you just complete free farm, and I don't think IO has the capability to really stop that from happening.
It's kind of a same thinking in a sense where they're going to be grouping up, that it's for kind of melee heroes in a sense, like IO being tethered up to somebody. It's going to be very good for Magnus to set up his RPs. Whisper did play it earlier in the group stage against Team Brazilians. That was a long game, 70-minute game, and it looked very good. They also have ways of amping up the damage with this Vengeful Spirit, with the it's on a range hero, so it's not as effective, but having Empower on top of that, there's going to be quite a lot of right-click. Gunnar, you talked about the physical damage in this meta, how it's important that you can kill heroes through the BKB. You have Vengeful Spirit with the swap. You have Magnus with the RP. A lot of BKB piercing tools that and the overwhelming damage, the right-click damage that you're bringing. So it does feel very good.
That's the aura effect you were talking about, Lacoste, the Thompson effect. Now Yandex is saying, oh, you guys won with mid Dragon Knight. Now it's our turn to give it a go and win with it.
Yeah, Dragon Knight has been kind of always the hero that has been good in the lane against Lina. You have a stun, like you don't feel as much harassment. The matchup did change over the years, but they also needed a stun. I feel like this is the hero that they kind of needed somebody to set things up, because when you have Doom, you also want to have a good chase potential, because otherwise they're going to be running away, and they have Swap, and they have Stampede, so you're going to be able to lock onto a target and kill it.
I do worry about the Dragon Knight with the sub duo. I think Undying and Bounty are both extremely low damage heroes. Yes. So if he has, which we've seen Dragon Knight actually struggle a bit in the lane versus Lina. Like, yeah, you don't get crushed like the other heroes, but it's not sunshine and rainbows. I think if he has that kind of bad lane and he's on the back foot, I don't think his supports can really help him. And LGD's draft just looks pretty solid.
It looks very good.
Yep. I mean, 5 heroes, 5 stuns again. You can't, if you're stunned, you can't play Dota. Doesn't matter how good you are.
Monkeys is not going to change his mind until he potentially sees a 5-stun lineup lose. Is it going to be now? Is it going to be another draft? Who really knows? It's elimination. It's qualification potentially for LGD if they're able to win this game. Number 2, maybe even rewrite history, winning on a mag in TI format here. We're going to see for game number 2 with Sunspan and Syndrome.
Here we go. Game 2 of this best of 3. Can Yandex stay alive, or will LGD move on to the main event? That is the question that will be answered either this game or next. As we see, that is not Queen Imperia. That is, in fact, Vengeful Spirit being picked, which I've been wanting this picked all tournament long. I brought it up 2 or 3 times. I've been thinking it tens of times, Cinderin, but I haven't brought it up, so you can be thankful for that.
That's nice.
What do you think?
The less you say, the better.
Okay,
so
thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
I think it really fits the bill for how this team is playing. And of course, it's a good response to Doom. You're going to buy eggs, so if you get doomed, you have a second life.
Yeah, you never want to doom her.
It feels really unappealing. It's kind of the new Wraith King against Doom. She's just seemingly a better hero right now, and you're a bad target, so you feel confident in the game. At first glance, it might look a little bit weird to have Magnus with 0 good Empower friends, but I just don't think it's that important comparatively to what it used to be. It's oh yeah, true. Actually, she does get the bonus from being both a ranged and a melee hero. That's true.
You know, I know that because I play her as a melee hero, Cinderin, always.
So yeah, that is a nice little extra detail. I genuinely don't think it mattered for the pick. if I'm honest, but maybe it played a role. I think more so than anything, this is LGD saying, hey, in game number 1, we had a lot of stuns and a big AoE BKB piercing ability in the offlane. You guys ban Enigma, we've got another one. This hero is going to be performing a similar function, of course, with the asterisk that the laning phase will be harder. This should be a much better or a tougher matchup than Enigma had in the last game. IO Undying is a kind of actually surprisingly strong lane, you might think, with IO as carry. But that said, IO carry, I feel like it's been very hit or miss in this tournament. And this is an elimination game at this point for Yandex. You got ran over in game number 1, and in this game, I don't feel like you necessarily picked something that's going to up the pace that much when you're proposing an offlane Doom and, like the panel talked about, a mid lane Dragon Knight with low damage supports. I think this is a very high execution draft, and if you're not on top form today, which you definitely weren't in game 1, I don't think there's any sugarcoating it, you just got destroyed. This is a high-risk play to make in game 2, to draft like this.
Yep, for sure. We'll see how it turns out. I mean, yeah, when I think of Watson, I don't think of IO. Not that he can't play it, but you would think in the elimination game you want to go for something that's a little bit more comfort.
Yeah. I was expecting them to run something where they don't feel on a timer. I don't know if they necessarily are. I think their lineup scales very well on the core positions. The support's a little bit mixed bag, like Bounty Hunter on Soxa here can scale, but it's contingent on finding kills. Bounty Hunter never gets rich without track, especially since the change to his innate, or rather he had the facet where he could farm with Shuriken, which doesn't exist anymore, the old through and through ability. So now all you have is more gold when you kill enemy heroes that have high net worth. So again, his entire game is kind of hinging on being successful with his teammates in finding pickoffs. Well, if game 1 is anything to go by, LGD are ready to fight. They're going to bring the numbers.
I didn't get to confirm, because I heard from a little birdie that maybe that innate for Bounty is just not working, actually.
Oh.
So you might not even have that to work with. Could not confirm it, though, so don't take my word for it.
It makes me feel better about the mistake from last game with Sven that Gunnar and I both made, talking about how he does more damage to stun targets. Maybe that still works. Who knows? Maybe it just says something else.
It's really hard to test. Yeah, that's true. Theolacor might get first blooded for the second game in a row, which is good news for LGD, because it worked out really well after that.
I was about to say why. All right, that's
a good luck charm for them.
That's the strat, yep.
Yeah, I'm interested with what's going to happen to Whisper, because, like you said, Enigma can farm like pretty much none other, it feels like, from the offlane position, whereas the Magnus, I would not put him within the same couple categories.
No. One of these heroes is definitely just better than the other in this patch in the offlane on average. Enigma will have games that are really tough if it's specifically countered by the carry pick, but otherwise the hero will always get stuff. Magnus can lose to a variety of lanes, and I do expect him to lose down here. It's just a matter of by how much, but this is a constant harassment lane. It's super annoying for him to deal with the non-stop spamming of Decay. It's very hard to initiate on either IO or Undying because of all the heals they're going to have. They will have some inherent synergy later with the Soul Rip plus Tether, which is really strong. So plenty of good things going Yandex's way in that regard. Top lane, DM actually quite low here.
I would argue he's having quite the nice time for the moment, other than the harassment. His CS is quite good on the Magnus. He's going to be too sad about that yet, but we'll see once the levels come to be if Yandex can take advantage of it or not. Again, we're going to be seeing the support Centaur here from KJ. Somehow worked last game. As a Centaur lover,
it's
glad
slow
to
on the
see
sentry there, unfortunately. So not going to get the follow-up Venge stun. Could have put some pressure onto Soxa. He would have lived, but maybe could have forced out the healing Lotus. Still, this lane is... I think this is what's very important. If you're playing Centaur 5 or 4, this is maybe a little bit of a tip for people at home if they get inspired. This hero has some serious shortcomings along with its strengths. Obviously, LGD are drafting it in a very particular fashion to make his laning make sense. Last game, he was laning with Enigma, an incredibly powerful offlaner that offers a lot of damage during your stuns. And in this case, he's laning with Avenge, who, as a carry, is a little bit in the same boat. So...
Okay, they're going to be forced out again. And yeah, the minus armor aspect in this game with the Wave of Terror, not really taking much advantage of it from LGD's side. It's just a single, really, I mean, sure Lina will do some physical damage. It's mostly magic, surely.
Let's be honest, they only picked Venge because of Doom. I think there was no way they were going to do it otherwise.
And it has a stun, Cinderin.
It does, but a lot of heroes have stuns. Very few heroes have 2 lives. It's only her, Undying, arguably, and of course Wraith King.
That shows how much in the dumpster Wraith King is, that he's not even picked in this scenario.
Yeah.
That's the one category you're looking for. One check off that box as Thompson in the mid lane. 38-6 start, but this is a 25-4 on Tachira.
What has happened to Lina that this is a play?
Yeah, it used to be the finishing blow. Now it's just like, I'll just get my stacks
Using
up.
Laguna to harass.
Oh, Malady gonna run into Theolacor, puts down the Tombstone, but the Starstorm's in quite a bit. The zombie does tank the arrow, as Theolacor able to get out just in time, and now the Dragon Tail onto Thompson. This is a much bigger kill for Yandex. KJ a little bit late to the party, so ends up being a very good trade for Yandex.
Was a little bit disconnected from them, though. It felt like Undying used absolutely everything and died before DK could even connect on the play, but fortunately was able to in the very end. Almost killed the Mirana there on Malady, but needed an extra zombie hit or 2 as the Tombstone was taken down.
So we're going to see Radiance on Lina, you think?
No, I don't think so.
If he's going to switch things up on every hero, though.
I had my doubts last game when we talked about Dragon Knight buying Radiance, if that was ever a thing in other roles. I think Lina Radiance, I can say with confidence, has never been a thing in any role.
Getting gone on under the tier 1 tower. Will pop the Lotus, and the Fairy Fire, in fact. Scorched Earth is too much. DM with the kill. And another big one going the way of Yandex, exactly what they were looking for.
It's off to a solid start this game on Doom. I wonder who he prioritizes dooming this game. I think there's a case to be made for actually making it a priority to doom the Magnus over Lina, depending on the situation. Obviously, you're not dooming Venge after she hits her Ags timing, unless it's a very specific scenario. But you are playing into Stampede. Oh, see you later, Melody, by the way. I'm gonna walk into trouble here. Centaur, a classic counter to Doom for that reason. You Doom someone, you just Stampede them out. True. He can't. I mean, obviously you can itemize against it as Doom, but you're not really going to. So you will be heavily reliant on combining Doom with Dragon Tail. Otherwise, the heroes are just going to run away from everybody.
Yeah.
It's actually an incredible Centaur support game, considering you first picked this.
It makes Ags Doom even worse. Actually.
Yeah. Yes.
Arrow set up by the Hoof Stomp from KJ.
And it makes Heart Centaur even better.
Thompson doesn't even need to use a stun. I'm not even sure if he has it leveled yet, as the Tombstone's going to get taken out easily from LGD. They get the tier 1 tower and a kill to boot. Yeah, has not leveled LSA quite yet. I mean, when do you pop a value level in this?
Probably next, I think. I mean, we have seen Linas go 404. I'm personally not ever really a fan of that. Strictly for the laning phase, there's an argument to be made that you don't need LSA and you just use the additional point in Fiery Soul to farm more and easier. And
oh boy, Watson finds himself in trouble. Nice stun coming out from Whisper and company. They got many more where that came from. No denial, as Yuma will claim his kill. In fact, his second kill of the game on the Vengeful Spirit carry.
They're probably getting the tower here too. And I have to say, we haven't talked about the lineups in that much detail. I think the support duo from the side of Yandex, I personally don't like it. It's double melee, it's both low damage heroes, and it's both heavily reliant on snowballing, which if you fail to do well in the early game of this game, what purpose do Bounty and Undying have as a duo? Like, sometimes you're going to have a bad game where Bounty Hunter's scouting becomes really valuable, and then you can play around that. You can maybe farm an additional amount on your heroes because Bounty is dying and giving vision, but Undying doesn't benefit from that playstyle. He just wants to fight, right? So the one thing they have in common is they love to take fights, so you get trackball and use Tomb, but that's kind of it. Here we go. They're going to try it.
Nice formality. The swap out on his teammate to be able to get out. Looks like that'll be successful for the Vengeful Spirit. KJ
might work,
out, attempting to go through the gate. Do they have another stun where that came from? Not needed.
Not quite.
And next we find something.
Watson running Dom into Maelstrom on the IO, it looks like, not Eggs. Interesting.
Okay.
As a first choice. I believe most carry IOs we've seen went Dom Eggs, right? I think so. At least the one we cast.
I think we've only cast one so far.
It hasn't been that many.
was.
That we've had. But it's been pretty popular this tournament overall, at least some games. Thompson will be spotting out the bounty hunter and pretend he doesn't exist, doesn't give a crap about him.
I wanted to talk about the bounty here. It feels like this...
Mask of Madness on Magnus, excuse me?
Really?
Okay.
Okay, I like that. That's cool.
Whisper wants to hit.
And LGD, the way they play is so fun. I've always loved watching them, especially in these big tournaments. They show up with something you haven't seen, at least not in quite some time.
This is effectively Whisper saying, I am going to get farmed just like last game when he went for, you know, the Octarine on Enigma instead of the BKB most people were expecting.
Yeah.
Now, Mask of Madness before Blink, so he can do more damage in the RPs and during all the downtime farm a lot more. This is usually a carry build on this hero.
They are wasting so much time here. Arrow actually hits as well. Will they continue to pursue? Doesn't look like it.
Soxa narrowly dodged the dust or he would have died. Now instead he's going to kill 2 couriers.
All right,
Got
not
swapped
too
in.
bad. It will cost him his life.
You say
likelihood
that.
outside the sentry now, though.
He's fine.
Now he will survive.
All right, that's what you want to see from your bounty hunter. Dust, sentry, and 2 couriers lost there at no cost for Soxa. This hero sometimes just has these awkward games where nothing is happening and you just feel pointless.
Yeah.
But he's finding some impact here.
I believe that was the specialist array for
Yeah,
Venge,
I
right?
think that was what was killed indeed.
Is that the typical build for Venge?
Yeah, it's pretty standard on Carry Venge to go specialist array for sure. You want a farming item and it's better than Maelstrom on her.
What about Battle Fury, though?
That's all I have to say to that. Too bad.
I always look for melee-related items on her, and
Yeah.
it feels like it still doesn't happen.
You get Empower this game.
That is true.
You have to settle for that.
AJ getting chased. Will pop his Fairy Fire. Under the tier 2, Yuma in the area as well. First Doom of the game applied to the Centaur, and see the relocate from Watson. A lot of damage now as Yuma comes up with a nice RP, but not in time to save Yuma. And in fact, it might cost the Magnus his life as well. Double kill for Watson as Yandex looking in pretty good position now after a Game 1 Omega Stomp against them.
Yeah. As a bounty hunter enjoyer, I can tell you that was a very important moment for Soxa. I think he was the biggest winner in all of that. He gets his level 6. They start putting some pressure on the map now. I'm not sure if he got any tracks off mid-fight after leveling up, but regardless, now his game is truly unlocked. He's going to go earn. I'm assuming he will get a Distiller with that. Scouting out. Tops. Oh.
Doing a blade right on his
narrowly got out of the sentry, but
pick the Dragon Slave.
Tranquils are good here. Very good. He didn't get attacked, so he's regenning through all of that burn damage.
Very annoying now.
Yep.
It does feel like this hero, it's a hit or a miss big time.
It is. It's super one-dimensional.
For like an elimination game.
Yeah,
Some balls on them to pick
It's
it.
bold, it is, but at the same time, it's also, I would say, one of Sox's best heroes in recent memory. That don't run it that often, but generally very impressed with his ability to perform on this. Speaking of Distiller, now there's going to be one picked up for Mirana. Incredible item against Bounty Hunter, obviously. 8 seconds of true sight. You just need to see him at some point, or know where he is.
Yeah, it feels bad as
Can you even place it as
his hero.
Yeah, just place it in an area and Bounty Hunter can't get in there.
Surprised we are. I mean, not that we're seeing. We did see Ricky, I suppose. I'm thinking of Invis heroes with since Distiller was put in. They've definitely dropped off.
Yeah, we haven't seen much Nyx. Not that he's Invis after he initiates, but Soxa. Yoink! He got his item delivered, though.
How many courier kills is that for him now? 4 or 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Not too bad.
If this was the old couriers, now we're talking.
He's channeling his inner Jin Q.
Yeah, or his inner maybe next time, if you want to go back that long ago. Holy core.
That is 5 kills.
We'll get out of here. It's one of the things that Bounty Hunter does that can be super frustrating to play against when you're playing slow, which is what LGD so far are in this game with their heroes, is you don't know where the vision is. It's hard to take advantage of Moonlight Shadow when you could be under a ward at any given point when you use it. And they're spending so much time and energy on their supports playing cat and mouse with this damn little rat. They will finally get off Moonlight Shadow. It doesn't look like they're connecting on anything, though.
Both sides were smoked. Yandex going to take the initiative. KJ going to be spotted. The Dragon Tail to his face. Gets off the hook stomp onto 2, though. The DM jumps in with the Doom on top of Yuma. But like you said, the Stampede being put to good use. LSA, some more right clicks. There's the RP onto 2 with a big skew onto the tier 3 towers. Watson now in a lot of trouble. They will find the Vengeful Spear, but at heavy cost again. 2 cores down for Yandex. Chira Jr. now on the run, but the Starstorm doing quite a bit with the Shockwave to finish the job. The Tombstone stacking up as Watson.
Oh, Malady killed
Thompson in the meantime getting killed off by the zombie man. Malady does fall in the end. This turns out to be a 4 for 4. What is happening in the enemy base for Yandex?
Okay. Hey, that's honestly kind of a...
I don't know who won that.
It's a draw because of track. You know? Like, you killed one... Yeah, it's hard to keep an overview of fights like that. It was a nice heads-up play.
Dead even with the gold.
Important for Whisper to find that RP and at least somewhat alleviate that disaster, but obviously dooming Venge is good for now.
Not for long, though.
Far off the Ags still. Need another 2,500 gold, so they would love to do that again.
Just dewarded 1 ward. There's still an observer in the enemy base by the tier 3 top.
Yeah, I think Malady placed that as he was diving the lead.
Yeah, that's so funny.
This one might just last full duration.
Yeah, I don't think they'll overuse it anyway.
And it's it's good for Saksa. He's going to see courier movement.
True.
Potentially get another kill or 2 out of that and just be a bigger nuisance.
No, he's going to be spotted though. Magic Missile with the swap. KJ in the area. Does still apply. Saksa might be fine. Distiller is there. Now the other core getting gone on by DM. The right clicks will suffice. Yuma now.
They are confident with reload.
Quite yet, absolutely. The Dragon Tail sets things up. The Skewer's not going to be in time. And now the Stampede for the retreat on LGD. Not going to last long enough, it looks like. As the Centaur, the Watson Centaur in this case, not able to find the stomp. The Whisper gets away. Thompson was not a part of this fight.
They're going for him, aren't they?
Watson, okay. He spots Thompson, he just runs right into him.
Sun on Sun, who's the bigger
Centaur
Sun?
is not fast enough to get the stomp off. I don't believe the arrow will buy him some time.
I was going to say, this is current Dota if he Lagunas that Centaur creep. That's 2026 right there.
Do you like it or not?
I don't mind it. It's just funny. It's funny to see. Thompson, by the way, going for a rather uncharacteristic build-up here. Kaya into immediate Lincolns. So once counter the Doom and the Track and the Dragon Tail early. But in mentioning all of those abilities, essentially, I don't know necessarily how good this is going to be for him, because you can just break it from a long range in Invis with Track, and then you can get doomed out of nowhere.
Yep.
So it doesn't feel like a safeguard, but maybe it is a necessity.
Is that the finished? No, he's still 2k away. He's actually, his farm has dropped up quite a bit on Yuma.
Oh, Thompson's courier just got killed by Saksa, along with Yuma's courier. So is that 7? Are we up to 7 now?
I think it would be 8.
8 courier kills?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's
7. Okay, you were right.
Yeah,
good job.
Nice try. Mirana's killed 5.
Apparently. We haven't.
I've not noticed them. You look for it less when it's not Bounty Hunter, but still.
It's not fair because she has a mount.
Yeah, that's right. Unfair game.
Sox is spending a lot of his time courier hunting. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, this is a multi-purpose movement, right? He's looking for couriers, but he's also looking for key information. They have relocate, so he can actually set up Watson for unexpected kills, especially if he connects with Doom. So this is a very interesting strategy that is working out great so far for them.
And Watson almost done with his Aghanim Scepter.
Side of LGD, the only hero that's really thriving in the farm department is the Lina, and she is going to have her work cut out for her playing into Doom Dragon Knight. It is not easy to not get caught by anything here with Bounty Hunter scouting. A couple of Lotuses here for Saksa. He's going to be happy to find this pool unchecked for 9 minutes. We get 3 of them, and we're into a smoke we go. So this is exactly going to be a relocate play, but they're going to do it the other way around. They're going to bring smoke, Doom into a smoke, so he doesn't have to be reload.
Dragon Form's about to end, though, so not the most ideal timing for Yandex.
Feels like if they blink Doom and Dragon Tail anyone, that hero is dead.
Yeah, maybe they don't.
It doesn't really matter.
Dragon Form.
And the dream target would be...
It would be Thompson. They'll find the Mirana instead.
They won't kill her, though.
Not enough.
I
Double
think.
leap? Okay.
Oh, they will.
Runs away. The gem is there,
That
though.
was
They
a
will pick it
lot
back
of damage.
up.
What the hell? Oh, that's right. Fireball linkers for 2 seconds after you leap out of it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a pretty rare thing for AoE ground abilities to have that much linger, but
it is fire.
That's true.
Whisper using the RP on this pesky bounty hunter will get the Laguna Blade help from Thompson as well. Drums away from the zombie man.
Majorly awkward. They want to get out of there.
Lincoln's finally online. As you can see, Chira finds himself a Centaur snack. 6K lead for Yandex. And Aghanim Scepter still not finished on Yuma.
Yeah, he's having a rough one. It's the biggest story of the game here.
Started off so well.
4 deaths
that
to his
empower. You know, you need to get that empower action here.
I think more than anything, he just needs some breathing room. They've been very aggressive in this top half, largely, again, courtesy of the bounty hunter scouting. They've been able to go for these tower dives, relocate plays, and Yuma has definitely suffered the most out of any core in this game. The fact that he's only 500 ahead of Magnus, who had a bad lane matchup, speaks volumes.
Tormentor is up. We'll see if Yandex want to take advantage of that.
There it is. Aghanim Scepter. Step 1 of many needed here for LGD in this game, but they are always going to have that X factor of insane team fight. Always fall back on that. You can hit a fat RP, combo it with an LSA. You have plenty of AoE damage between your heroes. Okay.
Nice little love tap there from Thompson. Blink almost there for KJ. So some nice item timings for LGD.
Thinking about it. The track on Centaur. Still gonna wait though. And every time there are 4 heroes together without the IO, they are 5. Benj might be the primary target here.
Thompson about 1,200 away from his Aghanim Scepter, but
Yuma
Blink,
goes to hit this wave.
Blink for KJ. Once that track ends, they don't want to spoil the surprise. DM has his BKB. Did not go for a greedy build with a Radiance or anything of the sort on the
Maybe
Doom.
some miscommunication. I've heard Dragon Knight is supposed to buy that. Maybe they didn't.
I was mentioning Doom, but yeah.
I know, but maybe he didn't go Radiance because he thought DK was going to be fully Thompsoning it up.
They could have learned from game number 1.
Well, I do definitely agree with not buying it on DK this game. I think it's the right choice. And I don't mind that neither of them went for it. I don't think it's that important. The tempo here is really the name of the game. If you play this game too greedily, you lose your supports in the process. It's been... That was my biggest concern for Yandex after the draft, was finding purpose for Malady and Soxa and mission accomplished. Like, this was really, really important that the early game went this way. Now that you've done that, plenty of options. Looking to be a shard soon for Malady to counter primarily RP, I think. Oh, we love bottom, just a farm.
Okay. Very exciting.
Yeah, always riveting.
He has BKB now as well for Watson.
Yep.
Big timings now for Yandex, and I would expect a fight to break out here relatively shortly. 7K lead. It's not growing necessarily, though. See if they can expand this now with these BKBs coming online. Thompson is top net worth, though. Have to mention that. His Ags should be on the way now. And a Moonlight Shadow. It was spotted, though.
Now, if the All Core is tracked, probably no way out of this one unless... No, there is a
Dragon
way out.
Tail.
Okay, never mind. I was looking elsewhere, didn't realize they already used Dragon Tail. Then there absolutely is a way out of that one.
Okay, Whisper initiation into the LSA, and Laguna. Malady is A-okay. He's going to get hooked up now by Watson. Applying some pressure to Yuma instead. The Stampede away, so LGD just not having the damage yet. It's like Thompson, I mean, what's the regular build here? I mean, at some point you go for right-click, right?
Yeah, it looks like he wants to go... He's not upgrading his Kaya, or is he? No. Unless it's on his courier.
Gonna get this for
All the
free,
time you
looks
see
like.
Kaya Yasha in the slot, but no contesting. Oh, he changed his build just now. All right, so he is going Kaya Yasha. He had other items queued up a moment ago on the Lina. I believe he was looking for a Hurricane Pike, but he Going back for the standard. I mean, there's nothing special about this build except the early Lincolns currently. Otherwise, it's kind of cookie cutter. This is probably why it's not looking great for LGD. Thompson not being creative enough. Doesn't know how to play normally. Has to do his own thing.
Let's see the E-Blade.
That's pretty normal on Lina.
I guess so. Relocate, Whisper in some trouble. We'll take a full doom.
Doom him. All right.
All right.
Goodbye. Packing. I don't know if that was necessary, but sending a message, I suppose. Another track kill for Soxa's bank account. It's a big game hunter in case that works.
BGH, you say?
He was top 3 net worth in the enemy team.
Okay. Might be working after all, Cinderin.
Well, I'm just hoping it does.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Actually see it.
How big of a power spike is the Ags for Lina, would you say?
It's game specific. I think in this game, actually not that big of a deal. I don't think the defensive aspect of it is going to help her that much to get the magic resistance. Obviously, 35% spell amp is no joke, and you can find angles flying over trees, etc. But again, Bounty Hunter is just a massive thorn in their side in that regard. It's LGD have very much struggled to find any moves on their terms. So maybe this could help them find unexpected angles. He's trying it right now, perhaps. No Flame Cloak, though.
Yeah, they find the stun onto the Doom. Looks to be dead to rights, just stun locked completely. Now the Stampede away as the relocate comes in.
Oh, that's a good Dragon Tail.
Owning up, though. 2 supports killed just like that. Still at this stage of the game, I think LGD still take that, though. Doom for 2 supports, probably.
Not that often you see the Dragon Tail AoE actually come into play like that, but stunned both targets.
I'm going to use this opportunity to push. Thompson does need to be a bit careful.
They have so much healing. Dragon Knight's inherent regen, tether, soul rip. You better kill them in one go, or you're going to have to kill them twice over. And I guess probably good for Whisper that he ended up buying that Mask of Madness, because with how this game has been going, he would have been in the absolute dumpster without a farming item.
True.
At the very least, he's been able to get something, but not looking great overall.
Still bottom net worth of the
Malady going to break out this smoke on Centaur.
I will say, going high ground against LGD sounds absolutely miserable. Arrow not going to hit. Dragon Tail is there from
reload.
Junior as KJ is going to tumble. It's going to be a support trade, though. And the swap now to Chira Jr. into the skewer, and the right clicks will suffice. So that's a big kill coming out of the way of LGD.
Oh, he doomed nothing?
Okay.
Lincoln's?
Yeah, Lincoln's was procced as Yuma going to continue to right click. He has his Aghanim Scepter, so his illusion comes out now.
You get the swap?
Get the swap in time out to DM. Onto the high ground he goes, outside of vision.
Doesn't have the swap.
Does it not refresh?
No, this was changed. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This was changed.
That felt so good, though,
yeah,
when it refreshed.
That was a very big nerf. I want to say DM was not dooming the Lina, but that Thompson put the Lincolns on someone else as he was doing, but it was hard to see with how clustered up the heroes were.
Watson trying to defend the honor of Soxa, and that's going to be enough for Thompson to have to hightail away.
Still.
Oh, swap.
Oh, that's big.
Watson. Okay, they can try to burn this Aegis. Looks like they'll do it, but a tombstone save at the last moment, and now the jump in from DM, able to get the Vengeful Spirit illusion. As Human will now revive normally.
Close call. Goes to show how important the skewer is going to be. You have to get them away from Undying.
40 seconds on the Aegis.
Figuring Malady might buy Blink to try to counteract that. Soxa. Oh no.
Whisper. Steal, Soxa gets some help from Watson now. Whisper on the run with the Stampede help. Okay, he gets quite far away.
A lot of movement between everything he got to use there.
Indeed.
In mid. Connecting back here with IO, but no follow-up on the Dragon Knight.
Dire's bottom line is under attack.
Looks like Chira Jr. working on Ags. Very nice against Lina. Magic resistance really goes a long way against that hero, and getting the flying movement means you can match her during Flame Cloak. So It's going to be a real feels-good pickup here. Now, if you aren't too familiar with late-game Venge, this hero can actually become a hard carry nowadays. It used to be more of a tempo carry that kind of fell off, but late-game Venge can be insanely strong. Big part of it is level 20 talent, where you steal damage and armor from the targets that you hit. So if you hit some big hero that has a lot of base damage, it can be crazy against heroes like Tiny especially. We've seen it run against to just get like 80 or 90 damage for free, then you're playing with some sort of critical strike, and all of a sudden start hitting like a truck. This game you don't have that beefy target in terms of damage, but you have Empower, so it's probably going to roughly even out.
Yeah.
But he has a long way to go. This is a poor Venge.
He does. Whisper finds a connection. That's a deletion.
Oh,
in fact, and they find the RP onto the DK. Enough damage? Not quite. Actually, yes, he does fall. As Yuma is still alive and running. Watson with the BKB now coming with the relocate. Trying to get something out of this fight. The jump in from the Doom. Not able to get the Doom off, though. And Soxa's going to take a hoof stomp into the double edge. It's 3 dead for Yandex. As LGD somehow coming out on top here.
That was super snappy from Whisper on the RP.
What's Silence Doom? He jumped in and got silenced instant.
Are you sure he got silenced?
No.
I didn't see him be silenced. I just saw him not casting spells, which, I mean, effectively, I guess...
In a way, brain silence.
Yeah. I think he was just hesitating to doom anyone there.
Okay.
Starting to get paranoid about the Lincolns, maybe.
Yeah, it makes you think twice with the Lincolns.
He's going to buy X, so not have to worry about it anymore.
Then Stampede becomes even more important.
Yes, that is.
Shard was taken by KJ from the Tormentor, which, I don't know, on a support,
Yeah, exactly. Kind of whatever.
What do you want to see? He might be going Yules again. Do you think Ags looks better than it did last game, if he can get there?
I think you could also argue for Wind Waker, maybe, if you're already going for the Yules. A great way of buying time against Dragon Tail, which is going to be the biggest offensive ability for Yandex later in the game, aside from Doom.
Ooh.
Well, that was still a crucial sequence for LGD. They pretty much cut the lead in half now.
Yeah, we're starting to get to the point where it might be out of reach in a few minutes. Holding on strong now.
Also,
but again, the high ground thing, I just can't get like
yeah,
high grounding.
It's really, really tough for sure.
You just got to get the pickoffs in order to create
that one
space.
here. No way out of this one for old Fiola Core. We talked about Venge's carry potential. Worth considering Lina in that regard too. Thompson is transitioning into right click, and he's got Empower, and he's got Vengeance Aura. So it adds up.
It does. And the swap save from Yuma. Not going to pursue the DK though. KJ survives as a result.
Is that the Ags? I think it is for Doom. Yeah. All right. Pivotal moment here.
Okay. Let's see how big this Stampede will be.
He's playing with Congregations of the Deep as well, so he can guarantee, at least for a little bit, that they stay in place and maybe can set up for Chain Dragon Tail. It should be enough to kill them when they're in the side of that Doom. Oh, this is a big moment too. Amp damage on Lina. They're going to go for the smoke. Any find. Thompson hits for 550 right now.
Not bad.
With Empower, Vengeance Aura, and the Rune.
Pretty good.
Imagine with a critical strike.
Looking to pop the smoke. DM in the tree line. This would be a nice kill for LGD. They find him via the shockwave. They use the RP as well, but the Tombstone is going to save him for the time being. The right clicks are so much damage on O'Malley. Finally, the AoE do comes off, though. Trying to focus onto the Magnus as Thompson just having his way with everyone with this damage rune. Able to get one kill. Now attempting to run away with the help of Yuma and company. They're going to jump in. KJ going to force out the BKB from Chira Jr. as Thompson. Lincolns does proc on
Relo.
Track. And Relocate still up and running. They get the Dragon Tail at the last moment onto Thompson. Looks to be his doom. As Chira Jr. ensures it with the blink as he blocks him off. And now Yuma, last remaining member in this vicinity at least, as Whisper actually will join him. Looks like that'll be it for the fight, but definite favor going the way of Yandex.
These kills are worth so much gold, and it's not even level 3 track yet. That looked quite promising for a bit for LGD, but the fact that they got the Tombstone save off immediately, and that was without even a Blink Dagger on Malady, just good positioning from him, good awareness of the expected move out of LGD there to be able to Tombstone save Doom. And they will burn Roche in the river.
Yep, classic.
So if that fight didn't work out for LGD, next time they probably won't have that damage rune, which played a big role. Still very much reliant on finding that good RP. Coming soon to your pubs, by the way. Daedalus Satanic on IO.
Huh.
Almost has it completed here.
Very nice, and he has the 25 talent now.
Yep. So attack tethered allies target.
Big power spikes here.
Strong. DK has a lot of attack speed as well. Those two together pack a punch.
AC minus armor from Shira Jr. Things looking very good for Yandex. Noxer finds himself a Magnus.
Yeah. Do they reload? They do. They're waiting for it.
Harpoon onto the trees with the BKB. Nice RP. Obviously not going to be too much follow-up, although Yuma has something to say about that.
They force BKB RP with a reload. That's really, really good for the side of Yandex. Worth keeping in mind about IO, obviously when you're close to max HP, oh, never mind, no time to talk. Let's kill King Jungles in 2 seconds. So IO does more damage the higher HP it is, which when you have Satanic, you can reliably stay on very high health. Together with the 25 attack talent and playing with DK, all this amping, it's just, if anybody gets caught for just a moment, they get burst so hard.
Yeah, this is scary.
The tower's gone.
14k lead, 3.5 minutes on the Aegis. They have Roche Banner as well. DK form still up.
Said high ground is going to be hard. They're going to go for it now, though. No RP.
That is true. Without RP, it's a little bit more difficult. There is the skewer, though, onto the DK, under the cover of the tier 4 towers. Shira Jr. has to pop the BKB and try to run away. He's going to get swapped. Now the damage coming in from Watson is out of control, but it's going to cost him the Aegis. Does get the Vengeful Spear, but of course,
be on second life.
Have the illusion now, as Yuma can get the stun off, the Tombstone save. I think that's enough to break up this fight completely. The zombie's gonna, okay, they get off the skewer onto Malady, but now the AoE Doom comes out from DM as Whisper's just gonna burn to the ground. Yuma, the illusion, looks to be falling as well, although able to trickle back to the base just barely. Without the DK form, their push not as strong here. Okay, I say that, he pops another one. Downtime on that is not too shabby. He does get the arrow hit on him. As Watson, this damage is insane. Another swap under the tier 4 towers. It's gonna be enough damage. Still healing though from Watson. They get the illusion of Venge. KJ takes a tumble, and this should be a set. Yandex looking extremely good. They got the Dragon Tail onto Thompson. DM jumps in with the Infernal Blade. Down goes Thompson. 84 seconds of no Lina now. So Yandex can go for potential throne status here.
Look at IO.
Fours. My goodness, this damage with the Link of 25 talent. Absurd. Both tier 4s down, and now the Ancient exposed. No mid laner for a full minute. 3 down for LGD without buyback. And this looks to be done and dusted for game number 2 in favor of Yandex. The fortification comes out at the last moment, but that is not going to be nearly enough to save them. And that means we're going to be going to a game number 3.
And now, you and I finally get to cast a game that shows what the IO carry hype is all about. It's been a very mixed bag in this tournament. This time around, though, great performance from the side of Yandex, and Watson ends the game 12-2-12. Massive success.
Let's do game 3, Nat!
Okay, Suns fan, I'll give that one to you as soon as we've already broken down this game too, because I'm on a similar sentiment here to what Synderen said. There's been so many core IO games going on, whether it's mid, whether it's carry, and they have been mixed results. I mean, going into this one, it was literally 3 wins, 3 losses for an IO carry, and I just wasn't really convinced Gunnar. This one has convinced me a lot more. Maybe that's just the Watson effect.
Yeah, it was, I think with the pairing of the Undying, definitely helped the Tombstone saves. It let him either get the relocate saves on his other cores, or it let him be that like bit more aggressive, and then he gets relocated himself out. So it looked pretty good with their draft, and the Doom, which we did have question marks about, still looked pretty good throughout the whole game.
It did. I like that Doom has this factor, or X factor, where you see a lot of Linken's coming out, and he does have something to counter those Linken spheres where he picks up the Aghanim Scepter for himself. He was playing very aggressive. He was in their face early on. Like, we saw him dooming the Centaur early. He's like, you know what? Even though it's a position 5, I still want to you not to use that Stampede, to not save yourself or save somebody else, and it worked out amazingly. I think coming into game 3, this Centaur, it looked very, very good in the first game. In the second game, it did feel a little bit of a lackluster, so I think LGD, they're gonna need to go with something different.
Yeah, and I definitely think LGD kind of baited themselves with the Centaur support in the second game. In the first game, I feel there was a strong reason to put the Centaur in support with the Enigma pick. I think Enigma was able to get Centaur out of the lane and kind of enable it a little more. Venge isn't really a hero known for early game. And I also think Magnus, we kind of talked about it during the draft, just isn't necessarily what we would think of when talking about strong offlane.
Yes, it's a lot of non-meta heroes, if you want to call them that. Sure, Centaur is good, but this is position 5 Centaur. Magnus, we really haven't seen him as much. They played it in one game. It looked okay, it was a longer game, so of course Magnus is going to shine. And then Vengeful Spirit from the carry role, she's okay-ish, but the whole, like, squad didn't really feel as cohesive compared to the other side, where you could feel what they were going for with this insane amount of heal on Dragon Knight, Watson with the IO, Undying getting the heal, getting the tombstone saves. It felt very good, even though on paper I feel like this type of a draft for LGD Gaming, it works really well. And also when you think about the high ground defense, you have Swap, you have Skewer, it still wasn't enough. Like, even skewering them into tier 4 towers, they were still lacking the damage.
When we're seeing these highlights and so many issues of what happened for LGD is they go for a pickoff. That is what their lineup is very good at. You can lock down a single target. You're hoping to take them out of the fight. But with Watson's IO, with the ability to be able to take this Doom or their mid laner with them here anywhere that he wanted, the Dragon Knight, it's like, yeah, you might get one pick off, Gunnar, but then you don't get to disengage because all of a sudden you're still overwhelmed with the amount of damage and the sheer numbers and how hard what Yandex are hitting on you.
Yeah, and I want to give a cool shout out to Sox's item build on the Bounty Hunter. He has an IO and he doesn't have that much setup because he's this Bounty Hunter, but he went for Blink Yules as 2 pretty early items. And there's a couple fights where they're trying to get these extra kills, and he's like able to track, blink in, and then Yules to set up for a relocate for the extra +1 kill. And so I thought that was pretty cool from him. Usually the Bounty Hunters we think of as like, oh, this guy's just kind of there. He's eventually going to get some random track and stuns, but I thought it was just cool to see getting those. Like, those were his major items, right? And they're not really that.
Yep. Even if you look at his inventory, even Distiller stands out. You basically have the Distiller built in, but extra bit of a damage. They felt like they need to keep running at people. Extra bit of a heal, of course, synergizes nicely with the IO. And whenever you play against IO lineup, you need to have ways to kill people. If you don't kill them, they're going to heal up, they're going to relocate back, and it didn't feel like they did have enough. And I also had to double check Watson. Like, he didn't play IO. This was his like second game professional on IO before, like, it says unknown versus unknown in 2021. But so basically his first big showing, and you would not think of Watson as an IO player. He plays different type of carry heroes, and in this one it felt like he played it for a really long time.
To be fair, Watson is a grinder, so I have absolutely no doubt that he's seeing everyone else play a hero and he goes, I've got to give it a try myself, runs 20 pubs on it, and eventually comes out and has a performance like this in officials. But Monkeys, the start of the game was just absolute chaos. I was wondering, is this the game plan of Yandex? You're just running around the map, this Undying on Malady, he's just showing up in every lane and maybe helping his cause, but himself suffering a little bit, that I wonder what is going to eventuate in this game.
Yeah, as you can see here, Yandex pretty early on, I mean, they're just diving into tier 2 tower, they're dooming the Centaur. LGD are trying to TP respond on the Magnus, but they're just feeding an early triple kill to Yandex. That accelerates the Bounty Hunter levels, gets that track online. Another thing I want to mention is Actually, I forgot about this dive here, where Yandex end up four or five men diving LGD's base here. And
Tier 2's still up, by the way.
Tier 2's and the mid Tier 1. And in addition to this dive, while Malady is solo killing Thompson, they get 2 observer wards down into LGD's base while Tier 2s and a Tier 1 are still alive.
Yeah, you don't see this often, and also this is you can see the synergy within the draft where Bounty starts running with the track. You have Doom coming in, providing extra bit of a vision, Dragon Tail stun, and then Io relocates with his creep, and they're ready to go. They're ready to chase them down, and this is what this lineup is built for, and they keep chasing. There was one more fight after this one, same spot. It's like they agreed, gentlemen's agreement. We're going to be fighting here. Whoever wins these fights is going to be winning the game, and that's how it was in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't far from the truth at all, Gunnar, because even though there were these silver linings or these moments where you could see what LGD's roster could bring out in terms of damage. This Lena, we've talked about her so many times already in this group stage, just how much she's able to do. At the end of the day, I just loved everything that came out from Yandex, and now I do sort of put them back in. Okay, this is the Yandex we used to. Still not 100% of that Tier 1 event winning roster that is showing up throughout the year, but at least looking back in that reasonable form that we have seen.
Yeah, they were the aggressors in this game. They were the ones that you would expect going to the tournament. They're the ones that are leading the pace. They're the ones forcing the fights, making the moves. Like that Tier 2 dive we saw top looks really aggressive, but they kind of know their limits with their heals. And then for LGD, I want to hope that this is a drafting issue in the second game. Kind of to what the point Monkeys was saying earlier. Yeah, they had a really good Centaur game in the first game, swapping into support. But here, it felt a little forced. And especially pairing it with the Magnus in the offlane. They don't have this like strong core that does a lot of damage paired with it. So if you pick it and you're getting this like Enigma offlane or a Bat Rider for Whisper or some like carry effectively from the offlane, yeah, I think you can do that. But just picking it for another offlaner, especially one that I believe is kind of weak in the Magnus, just didn't really look that good.
Another thing I kind of want to bring a bit of attention to is Saksa on this Bounty Hunter. He's kind of just running behind these tier 2 towers consistently, going back and forth. And I think he ended up killing 8, maybe 9 couriers in the game, just completely choking out these item timings from LGD. And I think it really slowed down their game enough to enable Watson on this IO and,
Yeah, you could definitely feel the difference between 2 of the carries. Like, you look at the net worth, there's definitely a massive difference because IO is a fast farmer. His first item did die, that you mentioned. The Bounty Hunter did kill the courier. But also
it was the Specialist Array.
Did get killed on the courier. But also the fact that you are getting or creating gold out of nothing, out of thin air, extra bit of a gold from track, you are killing these couriers. Back in the days, like when you were playing these Alchemist lineups, Doom with the Midases, stacking, these type of lineups always like snowballed, and I think Bounty Hunter as a hero definitely has a place in meta. Like he's very strong in the lane, he has 8-9 armor at these early levels, very difficult to trade against, and also the vision game, the vision aspect that this hero brings.
Yeah, it was significantly more in favor of Yandex this time around compared to game number 1, where it felt like LGD with their early gem, it paid out in bucket loads for game 1, not so much for game number 2, but because of that, we do get the joy of a game 3. But before we get to that, before we find out who's going to make it to main stage and who unfortunately will end their TI run here, we did have Pyrian sitting down with KJ before all of this TI action kicked off.
KJ, aka King Jungles, how are you doing today? Good to see you.
I'm doing fine.
So obviously there's a big story ahead of this TI for your team. Everybody was worried about, oh my God, what's going to happen? And now you've got Thompson standing in. Talk to me about that situation. How have you handled it? How are you coping as a team? How's it been?
So I'm very happy that we managed to get a very good standing. Like no one doubts how good he is. And he's very experienced, and I think this can help us a lot. Like, wondering to see what he can help us with, like what he's been through,
Yeah.
Like how he felt going there and playing the super hype games, super final games, things like this. I hope he can be more than just a good button presser, and he can be someone who can give us things that he learned from the past.
Yeah, bring a lot of experience to the team as well, right?
Yeah.
What about your season overall prior to TI? How's it been? Have you enjoyed it? You've been happy with how it's gone?
So our season for TI, like I can say about the one good thing, I think, like was the Blast tournament that we played. We got second place.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the one tournament that I can say we didn't have any problems. So I can see the potential of our team when everyone wants to win.
Other than Blast, what has been a highlight for you this season building up to TI? What's been something you're like, this has been great, we're moving in the right direction?
I feel like the highlight for the season would be the addition of FCR, our assistant coach, to the team. I think that since our coaching staff, like Cafurtado, he's very focused on drafts, and we were like lacking a little bit on macros and how we should play together as a team. And after we got him, FCR, we became so much better on that. And we got lucky also that he's a specialist on many of the heroes that are on the patch. So, for example, Lone Druid and Necro. Yuma right now, he's like one of the best Necros, one of the best Lone Druids, if not the best in the tournament because of him. And we as a team, we learned so many things about macro. So I feel like this was our highest thing in the year. He joining in made us such a better team.
You're saying FCR's come in, he's teaching you Necro, he's teaching you Lone Druid. What have you been doing as a team to focus mentally on this tournament, to sort of hone in and get ready for it?
The biggest thing that like we were learning through this year was like when we saw the teams that were doing the best, they had like a very scripted way of playing, which we didn't really like. We were very mad dogs, you know, just doing some freestyle and eventually outplaying the enemy. But at some point it gets very hard to outplay very good players. And we're trying to mix both of them, and it's sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels bad to go against our instincts. But I feel like that's the biggest thing we're working on, is like doing an effort as a team to be on the same page and work and do the right things together in the game.
Every single TI that you've played, you've finished at a higher position the next year. So you've done better and better every time you've played. What are your hopes for this TI? Obviously, you're going to say that you'd like to win it. But what would you consider a successful TI?
It just reminded me that once Puppy did an interview that he said like, I got 4th in this TI, then I got 3rd, then I got 2nd, so next one, and then like he didn't quite, I don't know, like something bad happened, so I don't want to go in that way. I don't want to say things like this. Of course I have hopes to go in deep, but right now my hopes is playing my best Dota, getting through the playoffs, and to answer the question, if I could break the SA record, it would make me happy.
KJ, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Best of luck on the tournament. We look forward to seeing how you guys do.
KJ would be incredibly happy to break that record, but I'm sure so many SA fans would be so happy to see that record broken as well. He's been one of those players that you love hearing from, whether it's before TI, whether it's the unfortunate exits that they've had from multiple tournaments before, but at the end of the day, everyone would love to see them come out there on the main stage, and they're so close, Gunnar. It's one game away now. This best of 3 tied up 1 apiece. It all comes down to a final game. You get yourself a good draft, you get yourself a good early game, this could very easily be an LGD win.
You got yourself a good Meepo?
A good Meepo? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's unpicked so far. Yuma is probably one of the best Meepos in the world. There's also Watson. I do have to say Watson is also one of the carry Meepo players. So technically,
right under Yuma though.
Right under Yuma for me, definitely not biased. So I think that's potential. They could have picked in the last game. It was decent versus the Doom. It's good versus the Undying, but there does feel like there's a piece missing with that hero, which is probably the reason why we haven't seen it once. But
maybe it's this. It's a good Meepo game. Like even though we don't see any picks.
I was like, how do you know that, Lacoste?
It's a good Meepo game.
Yeah, this is what Yuma says. Apparently, this is what Gunnar said.
Every game, it's a good Meepo game.
He would every game.
No way.
He would say if you ban Troll Warlord, it's a good Meepo game. No other bans needed. Nothing where like you care Shaker, Wyvern, and it doesn't.
It's still a good Meepo game.
It's a good Meepo game here.
When you're a specialist, you're a specialist.
Yeah.
You know what it thrives on. You know what it struggles against. And the good thing is the only person who's playing Troll is in this tournament is on his team. That's Thompson. I know we've spoken about him multiple times, but everyone on LGD being able to show up with their niche picks. And I would love to see a that come out from Yuma. But at the end of the day, I do realize and understand the pressure that goes into this game number 3. It is literally for main stage or ending your
kind
TI
of
run.
everything.
It is everything. It is everything when it comes to these players.
And think about the drafts. I know Caps does a lot of prep. I've seen his prep documents. They're like 500 pages long.
It's dissertations. They're not documents.
He's like, okay, so if they ban this one hero, we're gonna go down this entire list, and he has every single ban planned, every single pick banned for the first like 6 picks of the draft. So he knows what he wants to do, and it's hard to say like, oh, he has to change all his plans. But again, for me, I think Centaur is a very strong hero. But if you're gonna move it off that offlane, I want it to be for a good reason.
I'm down this hero to be just picked and played from the offlane. I don't think they need to overcomplicate things. If they have a chance, this has been one of the best, if not the best offlaner of the tournament. Like, how many times have we seen this hero just do well in the lane, transition that into mid game, become completely unkillable? And I feel like this hero just has way too much value from the offlane.
We do have a game 3 draft coming very soon. I'm sorry, I have hiccups, so I'm trying to talk through the hiccups here. So, Monkeys, maybe you can take over here.
We already have the respect bans from Yandex here, Enigma and Centaur. So forcing a completely new draft and strategy out of LGD here. We also see the Treant and Nature's Prophet bans from LGD.
Yeah. So Yandex's first pick again. LGD has that second pick. So I think they are worried about that Earth Spirit Centaur trade again. And now that Centaur's banned, in my opinion, you should ban this Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit scary. Last time they banned the Keeper of the Light, but Yandex banned the Keeper of the Light themselves. So now you do have this extra ban kind of open to do it.
The Necro, though, would be left in the pool if they do ban the Earth Spirit.
Some of the stronger position 5s are still left in the pool. We saw Power of Undying in the previous one. We saw an interview right before that. So they're going to give respect to IO and remove that one instead, because it seems like they didn't have the answer and they don't want to figure out the answer mid-tournament. Like on this potentially last game, they're just going to say, okay, it looked too good. It looked too strong. We didn't have the counter for it. We don't have the prep for it. So we're just going to ban it.
While I haven't been the most impressed by Core IO, I do think in that game, we saw Yandex just diving tier 2s, tier 3s because of this IO reload, the infinite sustain from it, and the scaling from it as well. I think it's a good respect ban from LGD.
Wow, okay. Did not expect this to be the way that we end our group stage. A Lina to Dragon Knight trade here in the opening phase.
DK has won both games so far.
It has.
The hero of the series. Yeah.
Sorry, you mispronounced tournament.
Oh, tournament. Oh, sorry. It's starting to look good. Like, this is how meta evolves. Like, the other teams are going to start to pick up on it, see something that maybe they haven't seen prior to this. But Lina, Team Yandex, Watson, he has been the OG Lina player from the carry role when other people didn't want to touch it, when the hero didn't really feel strong. So they definitely have that flex open between mid and the safe lane. And seeing the Dragon Knight as well, there is a little bit of a flex to it, but seeing how it played out so far in the series, I feel like this hero is just going to be played from the mid.
Yeah, I do have a bit of a question mark. Like, Earth Spirit's just getting ignored now. Sure, it did lose the first game, but I don't necessarily think it was an Earth Spirit issue. And we've seen this hero look so powerful throughout the tournament in a lot of these games, just single-handedly winning entire team fights or games by himself. And it's something I talked about, that it's good versus the Lina. Like, sure, the lane is kind of hard, and Dragon Knight does have that slightly better mid matchup. Slightly being actually can go even is getting crushed. But I do still believe in the Earth Spirit, just providing so much for your team.
I feel like part of it might just be Thompson just prefers these Dragon Knights or other weird heroes.
I don't know. Are you really saying Thompson does not prefer the Earth Spirit?
I'm not saying he can't play it or anything like that.
As an avid Thompson watcher, this guy loves his Earth Spirit. He was picking it. He was one of the first that started doing the max silence, starting to get that nuke damage in. So he definitely does like the hero. And if it was up to kind of my interpretation of why they're valuing the Dragon Knight, I would have to assume they're trying to focus mostly on laning stage. Like, sure, you can draft this. We're going to have a really good mid game, or we're going to have a good late game. And they have had, in this tournament, really long games. One of the longest average games of the tournament teams. But maybe now they're like, hey, let's just win our lanes. Let's just have a good, solid first 10, 15 minutes. Let's not be this ultra late game team. Let's just actually close out the game somewhat early.
I think that was the issue in the second game where they drafted the heroes who are not that strong early on. Magnus, he doesn't really have that much lane presence. It's more about him getting the farm. He also did go for Mask of Madness, trying to play for a slightly later timing. And you also had Vengeful Spirit. She needs a couple of items to, get the ball rolling compared to some other carriers who do get to join early on. So I want to see something that is more early game oriented. I don't want to be seeing, even though I'd like to see, some 60, 70-minute games, something crazy happening. But I also want to see LGD just try to simplify some of the drafts for themselves where they can actually play the game and not necessarily play from behind. And this is the type of a hero that's going to allow them to do so.
LGD pivoting away from their five heroes, 5 stun idea they had in the first 2 games. But Undying obviously proving to be a menace in game number 2. So LGD also probably trying to deny pick this from Yandex.
He can stun his allies with the shard. So
it's a save, right? It's one of those things that if you want to go all in for stuns, a save is very, very
it's fine swapping out a stun for a save because it does give you that.
Is it though? No, I'm joking.
It gives you that way to like the Dragon Knight can now feel more comfortable committing in early, being always that first guy stunning and then get backed out by his Undying with the Tombstone. And then on the other side, Wyvern, which I do think is a pretty powerful hero in the meta. I was actually considering for LGD to take this hero, but leaving it open, taking it really good versus Dragon Knight with all the percentage damage, also gives you a Tombstone killer with all the range that you get from the Arctic Burn. And I think it just pairs really well with the way that the teams are playing and fighting in these mid games. Like the soft resets of the Cold Embrace have looked really powerful. And the Bounty, I don't know, he just kind of owned last game.
Yeah, it was good. The extra gold, we already talked about it. It just put Yandex in that position to be able to close the game out a little bit faster for themselves, which is on track because right now in the tournament, they are the team with the shortest game duration with all of their 16 matches put together, whereas LGD are the longest, just below Enigma Galaxy, but the longest in terms of game duration.
And it's really interesting to me because when I think of this bounty hunter hero, I mean, I mainly think of it as this pub stomper. And I mean, when I personally am playing Dota, I get so mad whenever I see this bounty hero. I'm just like, oh, well, I'm going to get no help in lane. I'm just going to have to fend for myself, do my own thing. But Yandex, they're making this hero seem like a complete menace, and again, Saksa, he's playing the vision game, getting deep wars, sniping couriers. It's genuinely surprising the amount that he's able to make happen on this hero.
Yeah, this is a very difficult hero to deal with. You need to invest a lot of gold into sentries. We saw Gem being picked up even in the first game where there was no bounty hunter. 18 minutes in, they did the same thing on Morana. 18 minutes in the previous game, I think Centaur gave it to her, but you need to invest a lot of gold. And if you lose that gem, you are kind of cooked. This has been the hero against Necrophos from the off lane, from the mid lane, where you are getting levels more from the mid lane because you're getting more levels, of course. But once you use that Ghost Shroud, you can just get completely shredded. And Bounty Hunter really likes the plate. They don't really have the best setup. They don't really have the hero that kind of goes in and sets things up. So we could potentially be seeing the hero for DM last because I would love to have something that gives them a little bit more team fight. But then again, seeing Undying Necrophos, this is something that Team Resilience did run, where they killed the tower 5 minutes in. It is almost impossible lane to beat because of the way that you're naturally playing lane. Undying being a strong laner, constant heals, the lane is pushed, you play with the first catapult. Maybe if they want to run Snapfire Bounty, is that the type of a lane that maybe they could get something more out of it?
Yeah, I think melee 4s are generally what you want to play versus Undying because melees are the best at pulling the wave. So, and doing all these like random creep shenanigans, running in circles behind the tower. Undying, sure, he can buy the boots and chase after you, but he doesn't have the ways to really kill you or punish you. He'll almost always allow you to get away with it. So I definitely think that bounty +1, if it's the snap or even just a melee offlaner, will probably be able to at least survive in this Necrophos lane. And for me, I was also thinking before the snap pick, there was like a Muerta, which is pretty good versus Dragon Knight, pretty good versus the Necro, but I think now with this Muerta, it does put your draft in this very awkward position where you almost need this stun initiator spirit-esque hero You can pick something from the offlane, but a second layer I would add to that is actually you want a nullifier buyer in this game. So even if you do go something like a Dawnbreaker, something like a Lycan, just something that is able to get that like second or third item nullifier, I think it'll help them a lot being able to deal with the Necrophos, because if you don't, it makes it so hard to win the fights during BKBs to kill the Necro, and post BKBs, I think the fights are pretty much impossible for Yandex.
They have a lot of sustain, a lot of reset. We saw value that you are getting from Tombstone with the Shard. Necro, if he gets focused, he is going to be getting that extra bit of a heal. He comes out, has another heal, has another Ghost Shroud, maybe Terrorize on top of that when they try to focus him down. So not the easiest hero to kill, even though they have good amount of magic damage from Snapfire and Lina. But also, these heroes are very sustainable. And if you've seen it in the second game, if you don't have enough to burst them down, this could be potentially a problem.
We saw Whisper's hero pool just come up on screen there, seeing a lot of different heroes being picked up for himself. A Brewmaster is going to be the last ban there, with the Darkseer being yoinked by Yandex.
I think that's the other item that I wasn't thinking about is Krellas, which is kind of like the soft nullifier versus Necrophos, and it's been probably the most popular item to pick up on Darkseer. They're going at pretty much second item. I've been seeing like Helm Dom into Shivas, into Krellas, and then maybe a Blink thrown somewhere in there. So relatively early, getting it really fast versus regen from Necrophos, stolen. All the healing from the dying, stolen. Dragonite has the bonus regen, but it's not so much of a factor in this, but we saw him get all the healing from the IO last game, so maybe some Satanics. It looks like a very good Darkseer game. Unfortunately, doesn't have the best mid to pair with. Usually you'd want that like melee, Ember, Earth Spirit, Storm, kind of guy that uses the Ion Shell. So it's going to be a lot on the Darkseer and the Bounty to kind of find this pairing. But in terms of what it provides to their draft, I like it a lot.
Are you a little bit afraid that there isn't anyone really to necessarily protect the Lina and or protect the Snapfire for when she wants to start ulting?
They have like soft resets with the Winter Wyvern, Cookie, Surge, these type of things. I think they have a good amount of options on side of LGD, what they can put in the lane. Like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I think this is one of those games where you can maybe get away with Anti-Mage as a pick. It's not a hero right now, but I think Lifestealer, it's a spicy one. But looking at the heroes that they have been playing, I feel like, Lifestealer works well, even though there's like one BKB piercing ability. He's definitely fine in this, unless they want to be running Necro in the safe lane, which they still have the option to do so.
I believe it should be Necro in the safe lane.
Yeah, maybe just for the sustain.
Yeah, you'll free farm versus the Darkseer. You can survive the Ion Shells. You get to counterpick the Lina in the offlane. That's hard, I will say, to counterpick it, but we've seen there's heroes like Lycan and Beastmaster that have looked kind of decent. You get the summons and you can focus her. Not amazing into the Wyvern, but I do think getting that like kind of physical damage offlaner does give them a really nice early to mid game. And that's either physical. I don't know if it's offlane or carry, because Whisper has played this in the past, but I would have to assume this is the Yuma Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Amar also played it during EWC. It looked good at the first, I don't know, half an hour. I believe they lost that game. This is what we expected. We expected the unexpected coming into this series. That there are going to be a lot of weird picks coming out from the teams because this is how they drafted. There's the Thompson effect, of course, and also and it is going to be Whisper actually playing the offlane Wind Ranger.
So the physical damage offlaner, I think the Necrophos in the safe lane to me made the most sense due to that kind of Darkseer. It lets your Undying just completely leave you. You sit there alone. You don't really need to worry about the sustain versus the Ion Shell, which is a lot of the time the issue with like Shadow Fiend versus Darkseer. That's why it's so good for the Darkseer, that he can push you in, deal all this damage to you, and then win in the offlane. I would assume basically they just needed some physical damage carry effectively, and Whisper again has really liked playing those roles. He's played mid, he's played carry in the past, he's played everything, so he can do whatever he wants. Am I confident in the draft? I want to say yes because of the Necrophos, but I don't think it's as well-rounded as Yandex is.
Even though we've seen many times Necro just take a hold of the game before the 10-minute mark, invade a lot, be able to choke out the map, you're still not confident that it's enough to close it out as well.
I do think it can close it out. I just have liked the Snapfire, specifically in the matchup versus the Dragonite and the Necrophos. And we haven't seen it pick too much of the tournament, but they have so much overwhelming damage. I still have to have faith in them.
Insane amount of combos that they can pull off. Not necessarily like stun combos, but you have Winter's Curse vacuum into that, into Snapfire ulti, maybe some LSA that can follow it up. But I'm a big fan of Snapfire. I feel like this hero has not been utilized properly, and I think coming into the main stage, we're going to be seeing it more because even after all these nerfs, the hero still feels very powerful.
Now, Monkeys, for you, is it still just as simple as many stuns as possible will win game 3 and therefore the series?
After seeing Sox's bounty from the last game, I feel I would feel wrong not believing in him this game. I think the amount that he was able to accomplish in last game, just how much pressure he created on the map, how much vision he gave, it was just impressive. So I have to lean Yandex here.
All right, if Yandex can continue that form for themselves in a game number 3, then the main stage will be theirs. But LGD will have something to say about that. Is it enough, though? We'll see with Synderen and Sunspan.
Damn it, Nat. Why have you done this? LGD versus Yandex, game number 3. She never learns her lesson, I'll tell you what.
Might need to clarify what she did wrong, in your opinion.
She named you first, and
okay.
it sounds worse, okay? It's not an egotistical thing. I don't know how many times I need to say it.
Yep.
All right?
You do definitely come across very egotistical. And finding out that it isn't egotistical isn't really helping your case very much.
It's not egotistical, I swear.
Yes.
But yeah, game 3 is upon us. Loser of this is out of TI. Winner stays alive and goes to the playoffs, which means they have a double elimination bracket, so they get 2 lives. It's a huge game.
An individual singular game to get you at least 4 more on the stage. There is a lot at stake here, and a lot of the times in best of 3 series, we've seen this countless times. You go into a series, one team gets smacked in game 1, they make major adjustments in game 2 and win it, and I want to say more often than not, the team that wins game 2 also continues the streak in game 3 because they figure something out, they implement it, and then they run with it. Now, with that in mind, LGD have pivoted massively from what they did the last 2 games, though. So they are running a completely different archetype of lineup. This time, it's not just 5 stuns and a lot of, playmaking potential in that regard. Now they have a Necrophos carry. They're running King Jungles on an Undying instead of the Centaur. And the biggest change for me overall is the offlaner is no longer this big wombo combo ulti between Enigma and Magnus. It's a Windranger. This is a completely different type of hero. I personally thought it was kind of ballsy to pick it here, and I'm not sure what the rationale is. If it's just, it lanes fine against carry Lina, it's somebody who can scale and then kill her later on with Focus Fire. Whisper has not shown any hesitance to farm in both last games. Definitely on the greedier side, so I guess they're going to try to implement it here.
Yeah, he's definitely the wild card of the game on that Windrunner, so do you think the pressure is on him then?
I feel like most of the pressure in this game is on Thompson, actually, because I look at their lineup, and I think Dragon Knight has to do quite a bit of work in this game. He's your primary initiator. In terms of playmaking potential, it's very different from the last 2 games, so if you got a little bit too used to your supports making a lot of moves for you, can't really rely on it to the same extent this time around.
Yeah.
Also have to deal with this pesky bounty hunter from last game who's going to be super annoying. Arguably you have worse heroes against bounty than last time, and he was still a big problem.
Yeah.
And he's playing with Darkseer, which is an even better pairing. So there's a lot of positives here for Yandex.
The Darkseer I really liked. Like you talked about the Iron Shell for the bounty hunter in the laning stage. I mean, the problem is Soxa wasn't in the laning stage. He was just killing courier, so maybe they're not going to get the full aspect of this combo, but it feels like, I mean, assuming Necro goes for the typical Radiance, you have Dragon form. These illusions are really good with the Darkseer wall later in the game.
Definitely solid. And like the panel talked about, I think one of the biggest reasons they picked this hero is Crozier. I think that item is going to be one of the bigger items of the main stage. It's already been pretty big in the group stage. But when the enemy team maybe invests a little bit too much into heroes that rely on healing, heroes like Darkseer that love buying that early really rise in stock.
Malady. Power shot onto Malady. Cold embraces, but now he's surrounded by enemies. Should be taken out, although stay alive a little bit longer. Last right click's enough from Whisper, and he gets rewarded with the first blow. That's off-lane Windrunner. Watson can avoid the power shot. Not avoid the Shadow Realm hit, though.
Nice little start for them up there.
But I assume it's a right-click win. Like, how else do you build this hero?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think this hero is very limited in its build options, especially when played as a core. I think if you're playing support, there's some different build paths where, you know, there was a phase where we would see Seb actually play a lot of position 4 Wind Ranger, and he would prioritize the Shard very heavily. Haven't seen that very much. Gale Force is not given the same priority. A lot of the time it feels like they just get it from the Tormentor. And then I personally think it's undervalued. I think it's a very good Shard, but it's 1,400 gold that you probably feel like you can't afford to invest as a core versus if you're playing 4 or 5. So don't expect to see that out of him. So yeah, probably just some Maelstrom BKB, get on top of Lina kind of thing. That's the overall idea. Something to mention, by the way, about this Darkseer lane with Bounty Hunter is when you're playing with Bounty, you have options that you don't necessarily have with other heroes that Darkseer lanes with. Let's see if Malady can play his way out of this one first. I think he'll be fine with a Cold Embrace. I say that.
Doesn't have Shockwave quite yet.
They're not going to coast through that. One of the options you have with Bounty Hunter is obviously he could pull waves for you, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about the lane getting to some sort of stalemate position against Necrophos. If you fancy, you can just keep putting shells on Bounty Hunter and he can jungle for you. So you're just farming more. That is another option until you get a Helm of the Dominator. You kind of have a Dominator teammate. And you can do this, where you give him Ion Shell and he TPs to the other lane.
Yeah, and he was surged as well.
He is dusted, though.
Pretty low. Sox, he TPs in to almost die immediately. Power shot is avoided, though, from Whisper.
Lotus.
Soxa popping the Fairy Fire in the tree line. Does get the invis off, though. I think we'll survive unless there's a random power shot. YOLO from Whisper? No.
That was a very important dust to have there. Otherwise, they die 2 heroes, I think, on the side of LGD. They would have just been run down by this Iron Shield Bounty Hunter. It turns into a nothing burger in terms of kills, but I feel like the biggest winner in all of this is DM, who just gets to cut waves completely freely now with the support leaving. He will get very high levels. He's about to hit level 5, so he's going to restore a lot of his mana, courtesy of Quick Wit. Quit.
Yeah.
And you can see he's just double dipping here with pulling the wave into neutral camps for more efficient farming. Soxa will kill Thompson's Courier. That was a Wand recipe and Tangos, so some resources missing now for that mid lane. And we haven't talked about this too much. Snapfire against most heroes, you just win the lane. And DK is no different. He's winning it quite sizably too here. 34 and 10 against 27 and 3. Thompson losing his Courier, the 6-minute rune is very important.
Yep, Theolocore makes his way over. And not sure they're going to want to fight for that top side. He's getting hit by the Scatter Blast, and the Kisses are there with the stun coming out from Soxa. And that is more than enough damage to bring Thompson down. The haste rune was snagged by Theolocore.
Yeah, this is a very bad time for DK to die. You don't get to get the rune. You lose a full wave in tower, including the siege creep. At least King Jungles will be here to leech a little bit of this experience and keep the wave intact next to the tower. But again, it's you being forced. It's a lot of pressure being put by the Soxa Bounty Hunter once more. Got spotted under a sentry here, so he will know they see him. In the meantime, up top. This is still puzzling to me, this Wind Ranger pick. I really need to see some justification for this later in the game where I'm like, oh, this is...
Reaper Scythe comes out. Not enough to kill off Soxa initially, but they do get the trade in the end. Yeah, Lacoste was mentioning the Amar game, which I believe I cast, and I don't remember anything other than that he picked it. They were losing, and then they won. And I don't remember...
It's a good sample size for the hero being great.
Yeah, of course. But it's obviously very unusual in the offlane.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out.
I love the hero, but I find it very limiting in the offlane role. Malady, big damage onto him.
Yeah, will get off the Cold Embrace.
He is going to die eventually here, but he'll make them work for it.
Maybe he can die to the neutrals. Not gonna try, dodges the power shot.
Oh, that was actually close.
Theolocore,
pretty damn good attempt.
Gets the hit, though.
That was a different camp. Maybe he might have died to it if it was the big centaur that hit him.
That was probably the worst
small
camp.
satyr. Yeah.
These little babies barely do anything.
Well, in good news for LGD, Yuma is having a completely free game. That is largely bound to happen when you're laning into Darkseer. This is a very good Necrophos lane matchup. You just farm the waves. You don't really care that they're shelled because you out-regen them, and then you can go and farm jungle camps afterwards. But Looks like they might be on the warpath here a little bit. Soxa and Chira and the connection from the right-hand side on the Darkseer. And Yuma's actually, he has 20 sticks, but he's low on mana.
Got a couple Lotuses as well.
Out we go.
Bramble only going to connect on one, so LGD will back away, it seems. And yeah, if they can get this fast Radiance on the Necro, that would be huge for LGD because none of the other cores are really doing a whole lot of anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially on Thompson's side, off to a very slow start. I mean, what kind of comeback potential does this hero have on its own right now? You can take stacks for sure.
Yeah, well, kind of need level 12 before he can take stacks on DK.
Soxa going to show himself on Theola core. Bramble going to be avoided for the most part as Soxa continuing on, and DM will get the kill with the Ion Shell attached to the bounty. What kind of options do they have for Yandex against the Necro other than the Krella's Crozier? Because I'm not seeing a Nullifier purchaser. I mean,
no,
you could just
really
go Yules, I suppose.
Probably Nullifier on Bounty Hunter, I guess.
I mean,
part of the luxury. Yeah. This hero can buy literally anything, because he is mostly just invisible and casting track. That's the 90% of your gameplay in the mid game. I think my question is, do you really need to counter Ghost Shroud when you have this insane amount of magic damage? Like, they have so much of it, including even the wall to help, that I feel like perhaps it's not that big of a problem to not be able to buy Nullifier. Usually it was the hard counter in the last year, but I'm not all that worried about that Necrophos becoming an unstoppable.
That's a fair point. I mean, they don't have the traditional right-click carry for Yandex, the physical Kez type.
Don't get me wrong, Watson's going to right-click. He is going Maelstrom, and he will be playing carry Lina, but obviously that hero has the luxury of being a mixed damage type kind of carry.
We're going to get hounded now by Soxa. Not quite level 6 yet.
They see him on the sentry, so calls off this play for now.
He's just getting farmed for D.
Oh,
okay.
Some good damage. Oh,
yeah,
Shadow Realm would actually take him out. Not in range.
Reach him. Cold Embrace to keep him safe for now. I'm getting some nice extra farm with that Ion Shell.
Wyvern denying the tower. It's taking a while, but he'll get there.
Good job.
Travels now. First big item for Snapfire. Standard. Generally see this picked up first, and then sometimes you see Dagger second. Just go straight in there.
Gonna TP to the bot lane with those boots of travel. Has the damage rune as well, as KJ will be the recipient of all this damage. It's off the soul rip, but won't survive too much longer. So Chira Jr. claims him for himself.
Really nice item to play with Helm of the Dominator. Darkseer can just give her clean connections always away from creeps. Nice duo.
It's a very cohesive lineup overall from Yandex.
I mean, I really like this Yandex lineup, and I oftentimes find lineups of this type a bit lacking when they don't have, like, let's say, a clean initiation or targeted stuns to set up fights with, except, I mean, you have Winter's Curse, but I feel like Bounty Hunter just ties this together so well for them.
Radiant's courier has been
Attempt to chase a little Dark Willow, but we can see the Radiance now online. That's huge for Yuma.
Yep.
Still
keep ramping up.
Basically top net worth in the game.
Looks like tied with Darkseer.
Yeah, Darkseer has real. Oh, speaking of Darkseer, takes a Reaper Scythe. Not quite dead yet. The Radiance burn is going to be enough for the right clicks of KJ as well. So that top net worth was very brief.
Kind of crazy that he was not even far off surviving there.
How big of a deal is it to not have a core melee with Darkseer for the Ion Shell? Is that more like that would have been icing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I find that in this game, what makes Darkseer a good pick is that you want an Aura bot in the offlane that buys Crozier, and then the wall in the vacuum is like extra nice benefit, which makes him a better pick than certain other options you had, plus his enabling of the Bounty Hunter. There was a lot of secondary reasons the hero was good rather than the
Ion Shell. Scatterblast is going to be missed. The track will give some vision, but they lost their chance at pouncing on him.
See, DM is actually going pipe. So we'll be mitigating a ton of that magic damage. You look at the Radiant lineup, it is heavily magic. Carry Necro, offlane Windranger with Maelstrom, and DK mid also does a lot of magic damage. So that timing is going to be very, very strong. LGD have to be careful with picking the right type of fights.
I mean, both sides have tons of magic damage. Yeah. Will we see a pipe? Does the item exist? I mean, we saw it on Darkseer, I think, 2 nights ago.
Yeah, we're going to see it again. I just told you. Got to pay attention.
Okay, thank you, Cinder.
You're welcome. I thought you were joking that whether we were going to see one on LGD, and I was like, well, they don't have a candidate for it, so.
Soxa going on top of Whisper, but the focus fire is on Soxa as Watson makes his way over with the Laguna Blade, and Soxa will survive with the track kill nonetheless. And we see a Terrorize now on the bot side with the Bedlam to follow. Nice kill follow-up onto DM. So LGD get
is he going to be in time here? Theola Core. Oh, yes. That was very close.
AJ there as well. They got the dust. They get the kill. Double kill for Thompson across the map on this DK.
Yep. Panel pointed out DK has won both games this series. Hoping for a three-peat here if you're an LGD fan.
So for Darkseer, typically, when does Krella Crozier come out?
Probably after the secondary item you get after Dom, which in this case is Pipe. If you wanted to get something else first, then yeah, it's just a standard third, I want to say. It's a real feels good item on the hero. You benefit a lot from the extra HP and mana pool from the Soul Booster, and then obviously the utility of the Crozier is amazing on you. You already cast all your spells. You can just run around the fight and be an absolute menace. Hard to kill. It's a real feels good.
Kira has a shield rune. Opted for the casual Kaya and will be going for Blink Shard next. See how smoke turns out for LGD. Mality's going to have to use the curse, but it's on a solo target for Whisper. Looks like he'll get cleaned up, but DM is there with the wall. And Whisper actually ends up being traded, and that's a track kill again for Yandex. As KJ taking some Mortimer globs to the face. Kira Jr. shows up. Kill off the tombstone casually. Terrorize completely missing. Actually hits one. It's only Soxa though.
This is majorly awkward now for LGD. They're getting tracked and hounded now.
Scatterblast now slowing up the Dark Willow. And Soxa doing a good job of maneuvering around those brambles as they get a nice Laguna Blade kill. So another track kill for Yandex, starting to really stack up here for Soxa and company.
That was a GTFO moment. And well,
it felt like they
played as little as possible with only the Willow after.
As mid lane, see Wyvern getting gone on as Thompson in his dragon form attempting to run away because reinforcements have arrived, but not able to catch up for Yandex.
That would have been a nice moment to have a blink on Shira instead of the Kaya. That might have been a dead DK, but not enough chase potential just yet. He will buy it next, unless he takes the shard first. Always it feels like Snapfire generally, when played Magic style, ends up with the same items, but the order differs. Soxa finally getting rid of this rat bastard. He'll be back though.
He will. Whisper has the Maelstrom, of course, and not super far away from BKB. See how they want to align these items is Thompson. No Radiance this time, Cinderin. I wonder why that is.
Yep.
Would have liked to see 2 Radiances on their team.
See that sometimes.
They do. Not super often, though.
Yeah, this was not the game for that. I think he recognizes that he has to play tempo. When you're picking Windranger offlane, your mid has to play selfless. Like, you can't all be greedy at the same time. Then your supports are just running in circles.
Yeah, so he'll be going BKB next as well. And then for the carry, Necrophos, Yuma also going BKB. So they're going triple BKB on the cores, and they're going to be aligning relatively around the same time. So that's going to be their power spike. And then what about Yandex?
Well, Snap is about to get the dagger, so that's a big item. Lena's going Pike. And Darkseer.
Pipe is done, I think.
Pipe is completed, right? It's on the way on the courier? Yeah, so that is a huge item, especially if they were to find the fight before the BKB. I think their power level is just significantly higher than that of the Radiant. We'll see if they turn this into a smoke. Oh, look, it's Soxa. Dusted and alive.
What the average amount of gold has to be spent to counter bounty in a game versus a typical game?
Yeah, it's a big deal. Look at how poor the Radiant supports are. A lot of investment to try to keep the map under your control, and it's still he finds the openings.
Yeah, Shira is there, gets the cookie, even the creep's helping out a bit. He gets walled on top of it. Not sure they needed it, although somebody was coming to his rescue, but LGD will back away and just cut their losses with Whisper being taken out. Minute and a half away from the Tormentor.
I hope this inspires other teams, whether Yandex win or lose, to pick Bounty Hunter this tournament. It's a very unique hero to watch.
Definitely a cool hero, especially if the innate works, which it might. It might actually work. Could be talking out of my ass here.
Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last.
2v2 BGH, Synderen? You a fan?
I don't know which game that's from.
StarCraft.
Oh. That was a game called Big Game Hunter?
Yeah, it's a custom game.
Huh.
Well, not custom game, sorry. It's just custom lobby. Means you never have to relocate to another base because the minerals never ran out.
Ah, I see.
Malady caught off guard. The Overlord with the Terrorize into the Reaper Scythe.
Slice him up.
And that is stack number uno for Yuma.
Yep. Now down bottom, Whisper again.
Yeah, he's tracked up. The cookie applied as well. Already at half HP. Going to try to turn this around with the Focus Fire. Did quite a bit of damage, actually, to the mid laner. Is it enough? Chira Jr. might fall anyway. Absolutely. So good job coming out from Whisper despite dying. Sets up that kill. And they're going to kill off Soxa in addition.
King Jungle's the boss running around at level 9 with a gem. Undying. He's had enough.
Dragon Tail and LSA are going to trade stuns for Thompson and Watson. They also rhyme, apparently.
He might actually kill him.
Watson getting off another LSA with the right clicks. The Maelstrom just stacking up now as Thompson gets off the Dragon Tail. Has the blink available with the Necro nearby. It was a close call.
Yeah, that was not far from. Yuma starting to create some distance, though. It's good news here for the side of LGD. Super farmed on Necro. Almost has the heart, and he has Shard. It's 20 minutes in.
Yeah, he's
huge. Enormous.
But the other two cores, not so much. Not yet, at least. Whisper.
Oh.
It feels like Soxa's just constantly on him.
Yeah, you will, and then the Dom TP. Oh my god,
and
so annoying.
Watson joins the party. Goodbye, Whisper. Rough game.
Yeah, that was 4 heroes sharing that track. That's a real feels-good kill. And now Tormentor should be theirs. There's a blink now picked up on Darkseer, and he's actually still going Shiva's first before Crozier, it looks like. The DM will keep that option for later.
Okay. You have to deal with this Necro, though. Heart almost finished, actually.
Yeah.
And the Shard goes to Malady. So the Cold Embrace upgrade.
Yeah, I think they would have rather had the Bounty Hunter one. That one is nasty on Lina.
Yeah, true.
But
getting the stun out of the right click on a ranged hero seems pretty good.
And it's also kind of like having pseudo Flame Cloak, which he's not going to buy as carry. Just the ability to jump out of nowhere is extremely valuable in a high burst hero.
I mean, is it good
I think
enough that
Soxa
he's
should
gonna
buy it. I think he should, actually.
I mean, if he aligns it with the, is it the 15 talent, giving the damage reduction?
Yeah. It's very good. He might buy Blink first, which is what he's queued up now. But I really do like the idea of buying it here. All right, there's the heart. What's it going to be next for Yuma? Is it just standard stuff with the Shivas next, or is it going to be a faster BKB, perhaps, given the nature of the enemy lineup?
I mean, because he's carry, do you not go for like a Lotus type item, or is that more off lane?
It can be both.
Good against Track, good against Curse. No, kind of good against Curse.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much value as I was thinking.
I think maybe you would, I don't know if you even want Lincolns. It's just, it's a default item for a lot of heroes to buy against Lina, but it's more against the Magic Lina than the carry one. So, I don't think Lotus is good enough here. He is going BKB. Kind of like it. I think for LGD's side, him farming this much is great, but you got to put it to use at some point. I feel like Necrophos is on a bit of a timer this game. If DK isn't farmed enough, and especially Windranger, this is a very quiet game from Whisper. He has been ruined by this bounty hunter.
BKB now, though.
Yep.
Thompson has his own as well as Yuma. Going to take the initiation. Only at half health. Reinforcements have arrived, though. LSA is going to hit. Watson going to apply some pressure. There's a curse, goes Thompson on the other side, terrorized onto 2 heroes. Yuma trying to shrug off this damage coming out. It's for Reaper Scythe onto basically a full HP Watson, who will Hurricane Pike away. Going to get Power Shot, though, as the Ghost Shroud slowing them to a crawl. Chira Jr. right on top of him as well. Can they finish off the Necro? It doesn't look like it, as Watson is taking a full focus fire now from Whisper, and Whisper, basically a 1 versus 4, gets the kill himself. They get 2, in fact, for Yandex, against Yandex, rather, as LGD trying to find a third in the form of Soxa. A little bit more difficult. The dust does hit, and they cancel the TP. Okay. The double Yules into the eventual kill onto Soxa.
Very, very nice defensive play from LGD. That is the perfect thing that can happen for them, is Necrophos gets opened on, but they can't full commit. He does so much passive damage over the course of that fight. Like you said, the Reaper wasn't even good. He just needed it to buy a bit of time and get the right positioning against the Lina. And they kind of ran out of juice. And then finally we get to see the logic behind the Windranger, at least in that fight. Runs down the Lina, kills her on her own.
That's so weird to see, especially a hero that's bottom net worth of the cores, has enough space from the Necro to just blink in, BKB, and go to... It doesn't even have blink, actually. He just ran in there.
Yeah, he just ran in. I wonder if Malady could have maybe got a cold embrace off. That could have been clutch there on the Lina, but I understand it's really difficult given that the rest of the LGD team were on the prowl, so maybe that was just a doomed to fail situation. Now for the first time in, I think, the whole game, LGD in the gold lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the bounty hunter.
That's a big swing, as you see there. Massive recovery on their part.
Of all the games, Cinderin, that we wish to go 60 minutes, this is the one. Soxa caught off and killed off. Reaper Scythe, all right. Get some stacks, and there's the BKB for Yuma. He is enormous.
Yeah. You gotta play this timing, though, I feel like. It's a bit, your lineup can Roche quite easily. You have Tombstone, Flesh Golem, Focus Fire. It's a matter of getting the waves in the right position first and then not clumping up in the pit for a bad vacuum combo with Snapfire coming in. But Necrophos is so insanely strong that if he is the primary target for Yandex, I actually don't know if they have the single target damage yet to kill him. If there's any protection for him at all, Undying with the shard obviously is going to make matters even worse. I would like to see them try to press the advantage a little bit here in one way or the other. Thompson close to his overwhelming blink on the Dragon Knight. About 1,200 to go. They are scanning the pit here, so Yandex having the same
right
lead.
into Whisper, so setting up the Shackle shot with the Focus Fire now. Gets off the vacuum on a Theolator, so he's stuck up there, but just simply TP out. Yeah, big kill onto DM now.
Yandex had the read that LGD might be going Roche, so they scan it, and it actually flared red for a moment, and I think that's why DM thought they couldn't possibly be bottom. So a little bit of a unfortunate scan hit on a hero randomly walking by the pit there.
And not often the scan gets you killed.
I mean, I don't know if he did it specifically because of that, but it definitely didn't help.
We can go with your narrative. You can assume things.
Yep.
Into the pit, Thompson goes. Would be a nice pickup for LGD, who have taken the lead now in this pivotal game number 3. Winner stays at TI and goes to the playoffs. Loser out. And remember, LGD coming into this 3-2, and Yandex 2-3, which is, I mean, I want to say maybe the biggest surprise of the tournament. Is that incorrect?
It's one of them, at least. I think for a lot of people, also a big surprise that Nick McGalaxy went 4-1.
Oh, that's true.
That was a huge one for me. Unexpected that they did that well, but obviously a very welcome surprise. Worth remembering, if you remember from TI last year, King Jungles with a very, very famous post-game interview or post-elimination interview that year, saying that they were going to be back, and got a lot of fans that day.
Yeah, he just needed Thompson.
A lot of people definitely cheering for King Jungles to get back on that stage in particular. And maybe some of them Thompson too. You never know. Maybe he has some fans out.
Only a couple,
yeah,
I think.
A few. But yeah, it was a very motivating speech. I think one of the best, maybe the best exit interview ever in Dota.
100%.
Actually,
No
so
question. Yeah, very
really,
passionate.
That guy he's got the vibes.
That's one way to put it.
Malady will be Reapered, maybe. No, not this time. He wasn't worth it.
I mean, I do have a question about the Reaper side. Like, is it even worth to use on a target that's dead already? I feel like the stacks are almost irrelevant.
Yeah, they're largely inconsequential, I would agree.
Not like the old days.
No. Oh, another snack.
Okay, Saksa. These deaths are starting to stack up. 3.5 minutes on the Aegis. I should have mentioned they put it onto Whisper. I guess makes sense. DK is a transformation hero, and Necro is virtually unkillable right now.
And I think the logic is that Whisper is just going to tunnel vision the Lina.
Yeah.
And just try to ruin the fight, and he can do it with a lot of confidence with the Aegis. Looking to take the top tier 2 tower together with Thompson. Yandex not really interested in this. They're letting them have it. This game has turned on its head. A big item alert, Thompson, or excuse me, Watson, the other son, has picked up the BKB of his own. So. And we're going to get one on Chira Jr. now as well. So this is a big timing for the Dire. Almost aligning it with a Shiva's Guard as well from Darkseer. So triple core upgrade.
I do want to mention DM. So it's going to be a Shiva's, but no Krella's Crozier. You were promising me this item.
He will buy it eventually. There is no way he plays this game without it.
But do you think it's... I'm not saying it's too late to buy, but wouldn't it have been better early against a hero that... basically, I had one core for quite a while on LGD.
I would have liked it over Shiva's first. I think buying these items is good, but I don't know if I agree with the order.
But the big vacuum, it's hard to pass up.
You can just get a value Chasm Stone if you really want to. I mean, it's 900 gold. It's relatively expensive, but plenty of heroes do that.
Another tier 2 for LGD. As Yuma, is that going to be a bots 2 that he's picking up? Looks to be the case.
Yeah. Love that.
Wow.
Allows him to connect on DK's blink stuns, allows him to connect on shackle shots. Keep in mind the travels to faster connection.
Yeah, it's like 1 second faster?
I believe so, if I remember correctly. Goes from 3 to 2, right?
It's interesting because you don't typically see that until you have at least 6 slots.
Yeah, there's a few heroes that I really like it on. Necro is one of them. So I'm a big fan of this build.
Smoke from Yandex from the north.
This is a crucial moment. They have all their 3 items now.
Do they even want to go on Yuma is the question. They're going to have maybe
they do.
LSA with Laguna Blade. There's the cookie as well. He's dead.
Hooked.
My goodness. I bet they wish they gave him the Aegis after all. As Thompson pops the BKB, attempting to teleport out. Going to be close. He's out of there. Terrorize comes out as well as Whisper, trying to get something out of this, but he is going to die with his Aegis, and likely a second time on top of that.
You think so?
Likely, very likely. Whisper trying to prove us wrong. Gonna get blocked at every turn. LSA misses, making it as difficult as possible, but in the end, it is 3 dead for LGD. Yandex set their trap, and they execute.
I would actually love to see a replay of that, of where King Jungles was, because if you're gonna leave Necrophos in front like this, the Undying Blink Tombstone, it has to be there. Like, this is a game-deciding moment, potentially. This was an LGD lineup that had been ahead for the last 5 minutes, just consistently getting better trades and gaining gold.
Oh boy.
And now he dropped it all on the ground. This is even worse if you get an extra.
Hits set up by the Yules. Will get off the Dragon Tail, but he's going to get collapsed on by DM, and he is all alone. Means Chira Jr. gets another kill to his name, and that's a dominating streak ended for Thompson.
Crap, they got a lot of gold for that.
Yeah, this... I mean, that's the scary thing about playing against Bounty Hunter. These games swing hard.
That was an 8K swing, that last fight until now. Changed the game drastically.
Still close to a 50-50 according to Dota+.
I mean, I still see the potential in the Radiant lineup, but that was a major setback. Again, I really like everything they did there. If they could have Tombstone saved Necro, that could have been so sick. Because you can see Yandex were dropping everything on him to start, and any reset there, Dragon Knight comes in, the fight gets chaotic, it's in your favor. But he never got the BKB off on Necro, so he didn't get to play.
Get anything
As a wise man once said, you can't play if you're stunned.
That's right, very
Or, well,
wise
not
man.
a wise man, but a man, I guess. Arguably. Oh, nice escape there from KJ. Immediate blink out.
They will clean up the tombstone though. First crown onto Soxa. Vacuum from DM. Have their eyes set on this Dark Willow, but here comes Yuma. Reaper Scythe onto Soxa, does almost no damage. My goodness.
Piped.
Soxa, very survival with his plan. I'm
He's
sure he has
getting
that
out?
15 talent as well, and he has the shard in addition. So after all of that, LGD get absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, an invisible bounty hunter with that with that level 15 talent that is also cold embraced and piped is very hard to kill.
That did less than 50 damage, I think.
Yeah, that did absolutely nothing. Now, next upgrade for Watson, MKB unlocked. So that's going to make Whisper's life a lot harder.
So if LGD, I know that you're saying they have this tombstone. I understand that. If they had a Roche again,
yeah,
would they give Aegis to Necro this time? Or do you still think this is